We're at Barry Power Reserve at Noble Park North in Melbourne as we continue with the ACL Under-19 Championships, and we're day 3, so we're nearly at the halfway mark. Some big games coming up. We get the second look at both the Indian Lions and the Sydney Kangaroos, second game of day 3 after a thrilling match where the Afghanistan Eagles have won their first game with 1 ball remaining. They've got over the line by 3 wickets against a very gallant Kiwi Warriors. And those two teams, you'd think at this stage, are fighting for the last spot in the semi-finals. And they've both got 1 game to go in Group B. This is a Group A match, and the Indian Lions won their first game, and the Kangaroos well beaten by Pakistan in their first game. Let's get out to the toss, and Sue Haas is there with the 2 captains.
Taking on the Tigers today, and
the captains are here. Saim, Kangaroos, and the Tigers will prowl under the captaincy of Saim. The captain along with them are the adjudicators of the toss. Let the coin go up now. Tails is the call. What is it? And it's tails. What have you decided to do, and why? Evan?
I reckon the wicket looks good right now, and I think when we bowl, will work better, look better, and I think we can get more out of the wicket now.
Any changes in the side for this encounter for you?
Yeah, 1 person drew and pulled out, and we got Amor come in, I think all-rounder, and that's about it.
Did you watch the first game very closely? Did you treat that as a template because you're bowling first?
Yeah, exactly. I think what they did well was score late, so I think we'll try to contain early and try to get as much wickets as we can in the power play, so we can stop the runs in the end.
Give us a fantastic game, Evan.
Thank you.
The coin in your favor and somewhere in this jurisdiction, because that went a long way. What would you have done?
I would have bowled first as well. It looks like a flat track, so we were going to chase it down.
Good number on this track.
Yeah, we're going to try and put up a good score and then try and defend that down.
So you're keeping your cards close to your chest. Any changes for this?
Nah, same team. Back my team, so we'll go with the same team.
Give us a lovely game then.
Of course.
So the news from the centre. It's the Tigers who won the toss, and they want the bowling first.
Thank you for that. And the Indian Tigers winning the toss and electing to bowl. Grant, we saw a really good game of cricket earlier today. The Afghanistan Eagles, for large portions of it in the run chase, were ahead of the game, and they nearly blew it at the end, but found a way to get over the line against the very gallant Kiwi Warriors and lovely young men that we've just been having a chat to at the back of the commentary box here. And we now get ready for the second game in a very hot day, day 3. The Indian Tigers team, Adisha, Eamon, Dipasan, KC, Felix Howard, Krit Darji, who was man of the match in their first game on Monday, Namesh Saini, Payush, Rambir, Saxum, Tejas, Anmol, and Javjot Singh. The Sydney Kangaroos, Ash Diwan, Azaan Syed. They need to improve their bowling. The batting was okay on Monday. Damon Bra is among that team as well. So the match will get underway very shortly. What are you expecting from these two sides, Grant?
Well, I'm not sure. I will be really honest with you, Dan. I am not sure. I thought the Sydney Kangaroos showed some good signs early on, and then they sort of fell away in their first game. So, as usual, what did we learn from that last game? And that's exactly the way the Afghan Eagles approached the last game. They knew they needed someone in their top order to bat through. That happened, and they won. So this is a game full of interest. I think the Indian Tigers have gone back to the old formula of winning the toss and bowling first, so they know what they're going to chase. But what we will see is this wicket continue to dry out, and that's going to make it, I think, better for batting all the time. I don't think either team's going to be favoured by the wicket and its conditions. It's going to be the same, or very good for both teams. And as usual, we're going to be looking just for the Sydney Kangaroos to get away to a really steady and to a really solid start.
So Payush will kick things off from the northern end for the Indian team, and it's driven into the covers by Bra, who's opening the batting with Same Raza. I thought they batted okay on Monday, the Kangaroos. Grant 128, but their bowling was all over the place. Long overs, lots of extras. They've got a couple of fast bowlers who were likely types, but just couldn't quite get their line of length right.
And that's something that's easy to improve.
Yeah.
So that there's increments of improvement easily accessible here for the Kangaroos.
Wide of the off stump and searching at that one and managing to get a run. Down to third man is Bra, and it's none for one.
Off the mark. A little wide there, just get the radar in a little bit closer for our bowler. Pemamaju.
And can we say g'day to all the families of the New Zealand players, because I believe they've been listening earlier today, the parents of the Kiwi Warriors back home in New Zealand, giving us critique on the commentary, Grant, regarding their sons. I think they're all pretty happy. They said that we mentioned young Tim O'Leary a lot. We do. And he batted pretty well along with Sammy Payne.
So both batters now off strike, off the mark, Bra and Raza.
Just working it behind point. Slip in place for Payush. Pushing in from that northern end and driving fluently through the covers, a little bit over pitched. Didn't get all of it, and it's collected about 12 metres inside the boundary for just one. Great return over the bails. We saw some class fielding by both teams earlier today, and it's now none for three in the opening over. It's a pretty stacked offside field. There's a short third man, backward point, cover point, short extra cover, mid off on the edge of the circle. Piyush bowls again. Great square drive. Attempting to stop that was the short cover fielder, but it was magnificently hit the cover drive through the covers for four. Almost down on one knee, a la Kim Hughes, the 1980 centenary test at Lords. Beautiful shot.
Let's take a look at that replay.
Yep.
What was super about that was the foot to the pitch of the ball, just over pitching there, just got into that length that's perfect for driving. Just wanted to back a little bit here, just a metre short of that for the bowler.
5 from 2 for Raza after that boundary.
There.
And gets beaten outside the off stump. Good delivery.
That's his length.
Yep.
Don't you love it? Don't you love cricket? Great shot, ball before. Bowler knows exactly what he has to do and lands it. Fantastic. Good start. None for 7.
It's a frustrating game though, isn't it?
Oh, isn't it what? And what I'm liking is the look of this wicket. Poor, full value for shots. And just that little bit in it, if you can bend your back a bit as a bowler.
The left armour on now.
He's going to bustle in too by the look of him. He's got that quick run up, and I bet you he has a fast arm action too with that sort of run up. Let's have a look. Number 23.
Namish Sani.
Sani.
He's not tall.
No.
And they've dispensed with the slip for the second over. Third man deep backward square. Ends up being a full toss and driven a bit too fluently for a run to mid-off, even though the non-striker had left his ground. Raza had to get back. It was a fling, but he made his ground. They missed anyway.
And if you're going to miss full. That's the key. Don't drag down. Much easier to hit. So just a full toss, but good line. Now just drop it back a bit.
None for 7 in the second.
Down leg.
Yeah.
No more.
And he's got plenty on that, although I thought he got it finer than he did. And it was
no ball.
It's a no ball as well. So it went reasonably square. Yep.
New batter on strike. How's this, Dan? This is like the backyard where you can't get out first ball. And now as a new batter down the other end. First ball facing this bowler, you know you got a free hit.
He can do what he wants here.
So what does his free hit ball look like? You'd probably think it's going to try and be a Yorker. Full pitch, but not on the full.
None for 9. Wide of the off stump. He went for the flat bat, swinging across the line, dragged it down to mid-on along the ground, no run. I'll take that.
I wonder what the mindset is with a free hit. Do you preempt or do you just play it on merits? Because that was well outside off stump, begging the square cut, but he tugs it on the onside and no run. Bit of a miss opportunity.
Because it does attract an agricultural unorthodox shot often, doesn't it? The free hit.
Yeah. There it is.
That's a great piece of bowling, and he's out.
He's out.
Right through him.
I like how umpire even gives them out when they've been bowled.
Yeah.
That leaves us in no doubt then. Absolutely nil. But that was good bowling, wasn't it?
Oh, superb.
You got a good angle there.
Straight.
I think there was just a little bit of in swing. Let's have a look. Yes, there was. Oh, come off his pad even.
Yeah. Looking to work it maybe through that onside. And that's a great breakthrough. 1 for 9. The Indians breaking through the lines in the second over. Through Naomi Sani. Be very happy with that. Ash Dewan will join Damon Bra at the crease.
A nice start by Sani. Be very happy with that. Just drag back his no ball and then 1 for 2. Momentum early with the Indian Tigers.
An early wicket. A lot of teams have lost early wickets in this tournament, haven't they? I mean, they've managed to drag themselves back into it. Most teams have. The Pirates have had a bit of an issue with their batting. The bowling's been okay. Defending from the crease, no run. It's a whippy action, isn't it? The left armour. Shows, Grant, how old we are, that young Adam and all the Kiwi Warriors were looking up Jeff Thompson last night.
And agree with us.
Yes, they do.
We actually thought that we were on point with that.
But a lot of them know he was. Turned into the onside. And that wasn't far away from getting through his defences, like Raza. Just squeezed down on that Arch Darwin, and you could hear the cries in the shouts of ooh ah out on the field from the lines that they nearly got another wicket.
A nice in swing here, just doing enough. It's lefty bringing the ball back into the right hander.
This is in the air. He lost control of the shot in one hand, but he's managed to loft it unconvincingly over wideish mid-off for 2 runs, Bra.
Yeah, he didn't quite get it.
No.
But it was just enough to clear the infield, and 1 for 12. A nice over there. He'd be happy with that, Sonny.
Seen quite a lot of front foot no balls, haven't we, in this tournament so far, the first 3 days?
Yeah, and that's a free hit, so the double penalty can't get somebody out off the delivery and then give them a free hit and run, so it's something you just don't want to do.
Ash Dewan will face the 3rd over. Payush bowling second from the northern end.
Taking a middle guard, D1.
They bring 3rd man in. And that's a ripper right through his defences. A little bit of bounce as well. had him all at sea.
Penmaraju were bowled. Great line and length.
The senior men's Indian team into the final of the Champions Trophy. Kohli got runs again. Shami bowled well. Again in the air. And he took a hand off the bat, didn't have control, but on the bounce to deep cover. Tell you what, Grant, if Mohammad Shami had have been in that test series with Bumrah, I reckon India get a lot closer. Very good bowler.
Bumrah not bowling the last day in Sydney made a massive difference.
Payush in again. Dropped into the onside. They think about a run. Yes, no, maybe get back. Which was the right thing to do because short straight mid-wicket was herring in and there could have been all sorts of trouble. Bra did return.
So pushing deep mid-wicket out.
Payush again. Oh, he's played on! Played on! Attempting to cut way too close to the body. And the second wicket falls and both players have helped themselves to their own dismissals by playing on.
Let's take a look at the replay. It's outside off stump. Just a little bit of deck backwards, enough to draw the false stroke, the under edge, and back onto the wickets. Ash should be very disappointed with that.
Dewan goes 2 for 12 in the third over. Under pressure already, the Kangaroos. Azaan Syed is the new batter.
And it's a partnership. It's a partnership strategy required now. Let's see if we can just stay in here. So at this point in time, we're not talking about runs. The boys should be saying to each other, okay, we're only in the third over. Let's make sure that we're together, hitting the bad ball, picking up the singles, all of those types of things, but let's reassess it over 8. So in 5 overs time, let's take a look at where we are at 2 for 12 now of nearly the end of the third. So it's not as much about the runs, it's about building a partnership so that we've got base to actually leverage off when we get into the last overs.
Payush to Syed, who drives the first ball he receives into the offside. Yes, good bowling again. On the back foot early days, the Kangaroos got some work to do here. Try and drag themselves out of this. I've seen teams do it though throughout the tournament so far. Generating some pace, Payush. Another good over, 3 gone.
And the conditions are, look, you can't complain about the batting conditions now. The light's fantastic. The wicket is, the ball is coming on. There's no demons in the wicket. So batting partnerships, as I said earlier, is really the most important thing right now.
Wicket maiden too. You don't see that often in T20 cricket. Well done, Big Piyush. So Bra, watching a lot of the carnage from the other end, will be on strike now. And to get his beaten outside the off stump, half-hearted.
And what's really fun to watch with these left armers, they slow one across, and then if they can get their in-swinger going, so Jeff Dimmick always said to me, we've got to have an in-swinger as lefties, otherwise we're just going very predictable slanting across, then across. So let's see if he goes across, and in, back in, or straight back in now. Let's have a look. There it is.
Yes, and it's lofted away nicely. There's a beautiful shot to the boundary for 4. There was some work to do there for the fielder around at Cow Corner, and he wasn't going to stop that. That just didn't quite get where he wanted it to get. Saney on that occasion slightly over pitched, and he managed to work that beautifully.
Over pitch and leg stump. I would have, if I was him, I would be just looking just to stay just outside off stump, short of a length, for 3 or 4 balls, then bring the in-swinger in. So stay across him. Just been hit for 4. He'll be staying away from the leg stump.
2 for 16. And he looks to pull the next one in the same direction, but
Bowler got away with it.
yeah.
That could have very easily just been flicked down for 4. So let's come back and think through what I'm doing as a bowler.
You can try too hard, can't you? I mean, I've been very impressed with the way that the bowlers might bowl a wide or a no ball, and then the next ball can be unplayable. Fourth over here. That's down the leg side.
He's lost the radar here.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be bowling leg stump.
Wide.
Only takes a tickle or good hit. There's plenty of space out here on the onside.
Just on Jeff Dimmick, Grant, do you remember that he developed an outswinger late in his career, which helped him a lot?
Uh-huh.
I think that was the case. Fine left arm bowler. Hit on the pad, but I think that's going down leg, and there was some half-hearted interest from the Indians.
I really like that late in-swing. Jeff Dimmick could be very proud of that. Move late. Later the better. But is this his stock ball?
Two for 17 in the fourth. And this pulled away into the deep for protection at deep mid-wicket. Again, just a bit short, swivelling on the crease and playing it nicely. Bra got 10 of 11.
Last ball. What's the plan for the bowler here? The last ball of the over. Obviously a dot ball or a wicket, better still. Where does he find that? Stay away from leg would be my advice if I was his captain.
No slip in place. He stacked offside field. And he doesn't stay away from leg.
In fact, he bowls a wide down the leg side. So this is where the captain should come over and just say, okay, what's the bowling plan? We're bowling outside off stump. Where do you want to hold the ball? Where do you want to bring your arm? Close to your ear. Not wide for the swinger. So let's get outside off stump. Come on. There we go. That's better, and there's a dot ball. Well bowled. Good length, good line. And now he's been let down by the field. Oh, that's frustrating for the bowler. He gets his radar right, very happy with it, and what happens? There was only one.
Sloppy return, and the keeper couldn't get it. And they'd be disappointed that they're going away a run. 2 for 20. 4 overs gone. Game 8 of the ACL Championships for 2025. Still to come today, the Afghanistan Eagles back-to-back, I want to say back-to-back matches, 2 matches in 1 day, 3 matches in 24 hours to complete their round-robin tournament. They're the last team to start playing a match, first team to finish their round-robin tournament. The tournament could be over if they don't win today against the Melbourne Pirates.
There it is. Great line of length. I've been impressed with this bowling. 1 for 7. Why wouldn't I be impressed? Kamarju. Here's a man who knows what he's doing with his bowling.
Yes, he's bowling on line outside that off stump. To a point cover, point extra cover, mid-off. Front of the wicket on the offside. Down the leg side, that's you give a guy a wrap and then they let you down.
Curse.
It is. Oh. I don't think you're a decent commentator, Grant, until you have about 20 commentator curses a game or an event that you're doing.
Yep.
It's called making the big statement. We'll kick this.
Shouldn't miss from here.
Yes, correct. Driving into the covers. Look good off the bat, but the fielding just as good. Stopping, I reckon, a certain boundary considering how quick that outfield would be now. It's lightning as the sun has been baking on it. Looked nice with his head over the ball then, driving that Syed. Lost a couple of early wickets. The Kangaroos were on the 5th over. And it's 2 for 21. Payush bowls again. Dropped into the onside. The fielders are deep on that onside. Mid-on was slow to move. He didn't really get a lot of connection on that. It sort of took the inside edge portion of the bat, but they get a run, which is all important at this stage.
Current run rate just under 5. That's all right. I'm not. I know. I would just want these two. If I was the coach of the Kangaroos side, I want these two together at over 8, and just reassess.
2 for 22. Payush now to Bra. Oh, he's bowled him! Kept, I reckon, slightly low, and Bra's having a look at the wicket, but right through him. Geez, a good bowler, this boy, isn't he? That is outstanding. And Grant, welcome to the Commentator Curses Club. You've just said me to be there at over 8.
I've only got 18 to go. Oh, that's a great ball, but
yeah,
that's actually just swung a little bit away. It's nothing to do with the wicket. That was just a good ball, and sometimes as a batter, if you've got to concede, maybe bat and pad closer together, but no, that was really well bowled.
I think Bra was looking at the wicket whether it did something, but it was a great delivery, wasn't it? 3 for 22.
Beautifully bowled. 2 for 9.
Safe Raza. Who would have you given the man of the match to the previous game?
Owen.
No.
Yeah, they didn't, did they? Who did they give it to?
They gave it to the bowler, who took 3 wickets.
Yeah, that's a good call. Happy with that as well. I suppose he restricted the runs, didn't he?
Yeah,
as well.
Abdul Aziz.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Good boy. Good work, Abdul.
Yeah. So 3 for 22. They need to get this innings back on track, the Kangaroos. Raza open the blade and defends to point.
A little bit of a way swing. Very nice.
Would you bowl him out now?
Yeah, I think so. I've got a bit of a feel that if you can pick up another couple of wickets now, and you're confident in the death bowlers that you've pre-chosen, yeah, bowling through. Coming out nicely, aren't they? Look at that.
That was too good. He went down the ground trying to... They're obviously getting a bit frustrated. He's only been in for a couple of balls. Raza went down the ground trying to hit that out of the ground, and he's too smart for him, Payush. He has followed him and bowled a great length ball. Didn't allow him to go down the ground and make any connection. Well bowled. So 5 overs gone. Grant's having a rest. Suhas is coming back in. It's 3 for 22. And it's been a magnificent performance so far by the Indian Tigers. Should they win today, they'll be playing for top spot in Group A tomorrow against Pakistan. We look forward to that. Kangaroos, if they lose today, will be out of the running.
I think it's a great time to come in and bowl. Aditya Thackeray has been given the ball and is quite content because of the fact that his mate has picked up a wicket.
They'll take on the Afghan Leopards in the next game, the Kangaroos. So played down to third man, they can't score. I think they're getting really worried with a teacher into the attack that they just can't score enough, Suhas.
Right, they got to bat out of the shell at this stage. 22 for 3. You got to be positive to do so. It's very easy to slide down.
It's a nice shot, and they'll get a run.
I'll tell you what, this new surface comparatively has been assisting spinners more. With all the chat about the first half an hour and the pacers doing their bit, the spinners have done really well. Tomar, in the previous game, operating in the power play, was able to tangle quite a few batters.
Disha again, that is clubbed away down to mid-off. He was hit a bit too firmly. The return came in, talking of firmly, and nearly had to take evasive action to get out of the way.
Had that been a direct hit, the story could have been a little different.
Yeah.
Very risky a run, an excellent collect as well. In one swift motion, the dispatch came through. Talking about the spinners once again.
Raza just steers into the covers.
Their efficacy has increased many-fold, especially in Aussie Cricket League under 19, and it's good to see good spinners coming through at this age and this stage itself. It augurs well. And I think what Javeer Tomar did as well in the first game has become a template for all the other spinners who are going to operate today. It's a triple header, remember, and it's something similar that we see from Aditya Thackeray. Giving room, considered a crime.
And there's a thick edge on the bounce. Great bowling. Good fielding too from third man, who did all that in one motion with the return too, but they scurry for a run. Yeah, you're right there, Suhas, because you look at the spinners.
Yeah, 25 for 3 after 6. Very miserly. Good attribute to have only if you're a bowler. Yes, Dan.
Well, I mean, if you are learning spin, it is not an easy skill to learn, but so many are doing it. My son tried leg spin for a while, then he felt he wasn't landing them as well as he would have liked, but he persevered for 4 or 5 years, and now he's gone back to seam up. But he really liked doing it, and I thought, well, it's not easy to do.
What Varun Chakravarti has taught us is if you're bowling seam up and still want to be called a spinner, you add the word mystery to it.
Correct. He's happy with his seam up, though.
He's doing well.
His team's in the grand final this week, so we wish him all the best. The old Zavs.
Getting the better of Aussies never easy. Getting rid of Head yesterday.
Yeah, very good player, isn't he?
Yeah, Varun Chakravarti, what a story. Tried his hand at fast bowling, tried his hand at being a batter, faced rejections every time. The only suit, the only craft that he needed to get back into the game was spin. That also allowed him to check his energy reserves because the run-up wasn't long, much like Piyush's.
This is driven. And Boomer, of course, down to mid-off, but he uses his energy in other areas, doesn't he, with his bowling.
There you go. And the next thing you know is he's knocked on the door of Indian cricket. Now he's done well in the IPL for the KKR. He's done well for the Indian side in T20s. Now cementing his place almost in 50-over format. What a story. Did architecture in between. And it all started with a tennis ball. So never underestimate the beauty and the power of a tennis ball that allows great access to the sport.
Payush is going to be bowled through. He didn't know where that was then, Raza, but it sort of got an inside edge and wandered down to third man. So is he any chance of Test cricket, or just he needs to just cement his spot in the one-day side first?
Test cricket is something that asks repeatability from you. It asks longevity from you. When you add the word mystery to your spin bowling, you're usually a commodity in white ball format. Having said that, if you can change a few things about him, which you wouldn't want ideally because you don't want to reduce his efficacy in a bit to change, then of course Test cricket and its aspirations will come through for someone like Varun Chakravarti. And the reason I say this is also because, remember, Ravichandran Ashwin, one of the greats of the game in the longer format for India, has bid goodbye. There's still a little bit, if not a lacuna, a little bit of space where the balance has to be found once again.
Was he forced out? I'll get your answer in a second. Here's Payush.
The answer is no, don't worry.
3 for 28. Absolutely not. Now, this is an interesting shot. He's gone for the ramp shot to a pace bowler. He's come right across his stumps. Gee, he took some courage to play that shot. And it was interesting because fine leg was inside the circle.
The only time you attempt the shot is when, this was beauty from Piyush a while ago. Disturbing the stumps, and that's something he wants to repeat. But talking about that shot once again, the only reason that you play that shot is when you have your dentist on speed dial. It's very difficult otherwise to play this shot for a pacer. The ball is popping up.
See, I think it's a shot you put away until later in the innings. You've got to be risk adverse at the moment. I understand they need runs, but you've got to be risk adverse. They've lost those early wickets. Beaten outside the off stump, kept low. Wicketkeeper did well to get hold of that.
Aussie Cricket League is such an exciting cricket tournament also because we've seen not just shots like this kind but very unorthodox tactics as well, and it seems to work.
3 for 32 in the 7th over. So, you think...
The answer is no. I didn't give you leeway, did I? The answer is no. Ashwin, having played so much cricket, knew exactly when the right time is, and as they say, it's the great time to leave is when people are asking why rather than why not. And there were a couple of times when he was waiting for his chance in the 11.
Yeah. And
in Australia, wasn't getting the right balance as well, the Indian side. And then that's when he said, all right, thank you so much. Then we move on. 32 for 3.
Swing and a miss there by Raza. He went down the ground to Payush. He finishes an outstanding spell. Two for 16 from 4. They bowled him out. They do the right thing there by bowling him out. I'll get back to Ashwin in a second.
Yeah, Piyush Pamaraju. There are two ways to think about it, isn't it? There's a busy road alongside. I'll get to Piyush in just a bit. There's a busy road. But I tell you what, all the vehicles that you see there have good insurance because we've seen some big hits in that direction.
Mine's got excellent insurance. I'm over there too.
You've got a couple of memorabilia as well in dents.
I've got a brand new car, so no dents yet.
Oh, so that's what the Aussie Cricket League did for you.
No, I dented my mum's car. I had to get a new car. That's another part of her that's no longer with us.
Pro tip for everyone listening, bring your mum's car when you're coming to a cricket tournament because you never know, you might go back with memorabilia that you don't need.
New over, new bowler, and again another outside edge. Just missed by Nadeem.
7 overs later, the ball is swinging so much. Melbourne and its mysteries continue.
I had a look at the wicket in between. There's a couple of little cracks there, but Luke's happy. Played into the offside.
Not from the best part of the bat either.
No, they're not really connecting the way they'd like. So why would you retire, just on Ashton, why would you retire in the middle of a series? I know that he'd been dropped. And Gambier is an interesting character.
The Indians seem to do it, don't they? The Indians seem to do it.
They do.
You remember what happened with MS Dhoni?
Yeah.
It's just that another way of seeing it. I would say you know exactly when the body says, all right, it's time. And I'm very excited to see his comeback in Chennai colours as well in the IPL, CSK. That run was not without resistance. It was a very good throw.
Well, he was looking to work through the onside, and he's taken the outside edge again. He's angry with himself, young Raza.
Now, without the burden of the international cricket looming largely on him, I think he's going to be a very different cricketer in T20 format once again in the IPL. And to see his comeback in Chennai colours is a great homecoming. It's something that fans would love to watch.
Wide of the off stump and allowed to pass. If he had have been picked for both those tests, though, he plays the series, doesn't he? And then if he retires at the end of the series.
Yeah, the word's there. The word is if. Used it. So what's the next best result?
Well, no.
He would never be in a position, knowing him a little bit in terms of the way he thinks, and of course his book is something that will give you an idea, a peek into his mind. That will run away.
Yeah, because third man was a little bit squarer then, and that went pretty fine. That's a handy boundary. Wasn't a bad ball, but he just got a thick edge. and they need as many runs as they can get any way possible. The Sydney Kangaroos, they're falling behind here, and they've already lost 3 early wickets.
The Kangaroos know the importance of the net run rate as well, and they might have that in mind, but it's the win that matters more to them here.
Well, it was minus 0.573 going into this game after being well beaten by Pakistan, looking to launch that through the onside. Might have been hit where it hurts. Syed, that was not quite
end of the over.
Short enough to put away out in the deep.
Jacked back in a little more than expected as well. 8 overs later, 38 for 3.
But you don't think there were sour grapes? I think there were sour grapes. A lot of Australians and Australian journalists and media who follow the game from a media perspective more than I do nowadays at the highest level believe there were some sour grapes involved with Ravi Ashwin. A lot of the articles,
their point of view.
Exactly, it's their point of view.
As simple as that. Now, with whatever little that we know about Ashwin, is one of those cricketers who would never stand in the way of somebody else if they could take the side and do better for the country. That's exactly why he decided to hang his boots, as per me, when he believed he was no longer the first choice.
He did have a fine career. I'd love to see Hardik Pandya play Test cricket, but I believe his body doesn't quite allow him to do that. He's an outstanding player.
The Indian side is in a very peculiar position where, in order to support the aspirations of certain cricketers in the longer format, do they lose out the kind of cricketers they are in the white ball format? That is the question they need to answer themselves. Someone who's a little more injury prone may be good enough for Test ball cricket, than all that you know. But would he be the same in white ball, which you play a little more these days?
3 for 30 overs. We start the 9th over. Great spell by Piyush. He bowled out 4 overs, 2 for 16, and Aditya bowled 1 over from the southern end, and he's now gone to the northern end.
The change of ends, will it bring a change in fortune for him? Aditya, superb.
Beautiful ball, attempting to cut and played over the top. Just on that, I mean, do the BCCI place more importance on one-day cricket than Test cricket? And should they if they do? Now, this is the attempted reverse hit, and he made a meal of that, not out.
I think out of all boards, BCCI is the one that gives the maximum importance to Test cricket. The reason I say it because BCCI is the board that can afford Test cricket at this stage. The maximum. Think about it.
Australia can, England can.
Yes, they can. But when they play certain teams.
That's a better shot as he came across his stumps and whipped it out to mid-wicket on the onside. Raza and Rambia. He batted okay the other day for the Indians. Does the work out in the deep. This is pulled away, and that'll be 6. He's got plenty on that. He has slammed that over the head of the fielder at deep mid-wicket on the onside. Took full toll.
Excellent.
And exactly what they needed from Raza.
Yeah, Aditya missing his mark completely.
Yeah.
Gave it flight, and then the batter decided to give it flight as well.
I thought that was nearly above waist-high full toss, although he might have advanced too. This is a quicker, flatter delivery. It's chopped away into the covers, no run.
This is much better from Aditya Thackeray, getting it right.
It's a fascinating discussion, isn't it, Indian cricket, where they sit. Obviously, they sit pretty highly.
I'll tell you what,
World cricket.
IPL would be the cash cow. The smallest format of the game that BCCI plays at this stage is the cash cow that allows the other formats to exist with ease.
It does.
45 for 3 at the end of 9.
I'm a little bit disappointed that South Africa need the BCCI to host their own T20 competition. Because it cost them a Test series last year. Now they've finished, and I still can't
I see what you're telling me. It's just a different model.
Yeah.
It's a different model.
I can't understand how they finished.
You're talking about the SA20, right?
Yes.
It's a different model. It's a model that gives, I think, more power to the franchise owners than the board itself.
And the franchise owners are all Indians?
But I'm very surprised that you say, why would you say BCCI? Because I don't think BCCI has got something to do with it. Yes, the owners of certain franchises are a part of the IPL setup, yes.
I think the BCCI has a say in everything that occurs in world cricket in some way, even though it may not be obvious.
The glasses that you're wearing, you need a different one.
Well, he's picked up a wicket. That was an incredible shot. Soft dismissal, trying to spoon it away on the onside with a switch hit, which he was looking to play over the wicket-keeper's head. And what he's done is he's put it down backwards square leg's throat. That is one of the most astonishing, extraordinary dismissals I've ever seen to us.
Timed his jump to perfection, and Piyush completes the catch. I think he was in two minds there. Amon's not complaining at all.
Raza, the man out. Describe this for me, Suaz.
Got into a good position and he had picked his spot as well. Only did he not realize that Piyush can jump pretty high. Didn't get the elevation. Piyush completes the catch. And it's a lesson for everyone that if it's a fast bowler hanging around, don't try to clear him this way.
I've never seen a lap shot played like that, though. I mean, normally the lap shot's sort of straighter over the wicket-keeper's head or a bit finer over fine leg. That was more backward square. So Tristan Carnival was out first ball, LBW, on Monday. And it's 4 for 45 in the 10th. That was an extraordinary dismissal. I don't think we'll see anything like for the rest of the tournament. We saw a good one this morning from Adam Wood. He was having issues with his radar in one over. Spoke to the young man before, and then he's yorked one of the Afghanistan Eagles batters and didn't disturb the stumps, just disturbed the bails at the base of the stump.
Something that happened to Steve Smith yesterday.
He's a good player, isn't he, Steve Smith? Don't think he should be captain, but anyway, opinions are like backsides. We've all got one. That's why we love the game. We can have an opinion about a lot of things. So Carnival, he gets one on the leg stump that he works around the corner of his pad.
Seems to be great captaincy to be bringing himself on here. Nadim, second over, picks up a wicket, first ball. Azaan Syed holds the key here for the Kangaroos to get to a very respectable total. The projected score might read 99, but their aspirations are of 120 plus.
We got 128 the other day and batted okay, but their bowling was a big issue. They've got some likely types, but
surface different.
No balls. That's true.
Opposition different.
That's pulled away. That is a lovely, lovely shot to come to the wicket. Gets one short, and he got into position and pulled it away over mid-wicket. 6 runs.
Superb shot from Azaan Syed, latched onto it. The moment he saw that it's in his arc as well, he didn't think about the scorecard. It might read a different story, but if it's there to be hit, why would he miss out? Azaan Syed.
Started to get going, but that'll put him into 4th gear. 23 off 22.
And 50 comes up in good style for the Kangaroos, who were caught on the hop with the 4 wickets.
You've been thinking of when you were going to use that phrase, caught on the hop, Kangaroos. The team again, and missed by the wicket keeper. It'll be 4 wides, 5 wides actually. Going down leg side, just lost his radar completely, the skipper. Disappointed with himself as he goes back to his bowling mark.
Easy runs gifted to the opposition just when the 6 runs were scored. He needed to be tighter.
Takes the pressure off momentarily.
Lots of runs despite a wicket of the first ball.
Down the leg side again, and it's called a wide. The wicket keeper comes across to cover it.
In Australia, 8 ball overs used to be the case, right?
Yes, when Kerry Packer came in, he turned World Series cricket into 6 ball overs, so they're going to have more ad breaks.
He's going to run in 8 times.
Yeah.
Ahmed Nadeem, that's if he doesn't bowl another wide.
It was 8 ball overs everywhere. That were the rules of the MCC until World Series cricket came in, and then they changed to 6 ball overs. And Australia were the first to do it because Kerry wanted more ad breaks to pay for his coverage after leaking a lot of money, especially in the first year of World Series cricket when they couldn't attract crowds.
It's just unbelievable what can of worms I open no matter what the topic is.
Lots of worms in my head. Messing with it too, unfortunately. 4 for 58. Just asked my doctor. 2 balls left in the 10th over. Beaten outside the off stump. Looking to go for that lovely cover drive a la Kim Hughes. One of the best shots I've seen in cricket in all the years I've watched it. 1980 centenary test in England.
1980.
Yeah, that was the one that they played in England. It was the 100th anniversary of Test cricket in England. It was rained out, of course, at Lord's. Hughes batted on every day of the Test match. 180 he got. Playing across the line, but getting a run is Syed.
End of the over at the halfway stage, 59 for 4.
I'm going to give my brain a rest. So 10 overs gone, 4 for 59. The projected score's 118 from here. The great man Suhas will stay.
Okay.
And Grant is going to come in with his magnificent words of wisdom here at the ACL Under-19 Championships.
So the state of play, 10 overs, 4 for 59. Driving to out the deep on the offside.
Now the projected score is 120. Respectability added. Azaan Syed holds the key once again. A run of ball 26.
Wasn't that a good sexy hit straight over square leg before? Boy, he picked that up beautifully.
What a shot.
Yeah.
Very impressed by Aditya Thackeray as well. Except for that one poor delivery that was absolutely smashed away for 6.
Tristan Carnival on strike, taking a middle guard. Take a look at the field here. Looks like he's bringing the deep sweeping cover in. All right, no dropping short. Yeah, nicely pitched up. No run.
His approach to the crease, Aditya Thackeray, his approach to the crease is very similar to Ravi Bishnoi.
He's landing them nicely too. Just like that. No run.
Sir, front arm please. Front arm please. His approach to the crease. Run up, run up. 3 runs of the over so far. Final delivery.
That miscutting. Too close.
Keeps Carnarvale quiet. 62 for 4. Good over from Thackeray.
So the conditions we have here at Melbourne at the moment are beautifully sunny. It's a long weekend coming up in Melbourne. There's cyclones in the northern part of the country, Queensland, Brisbane particularly. Cyclone Alfred, but we're too far away to be affected by that down here. Sky, there's hardly a cloud in the sky. Beautifully clear, and we've got a game here, 4 for 62 off 11. 113 at the moment, the predicted score if they keep with this strike current run rate of 5.64. Azaan Syed and strike 27 off 28, nearly run a ball. Daji new bowler.
Somehow ensure that it doesn't go past him. And that'll do. It's important that Tristan Carnevale as well starts to take as quickly as possible. Azaan, yes, is going to be the aggressor from this point of time, but Tristan has got to play the extra pair of hands required for Azaan to get to that respectable total. We're talking 130 at this stage.
Just drags that down a little bit. Only a single. Gets away with it.
He'll be kicking himself. That's a boundary ball that he's missed out on, and he knows for someone as set as Azaan Syed, that was a 30th delivery he was facing. His eyes went agog. His eyes went agog the moment he saw the ball, pitch shot, but couldn't put that away.
Bowling, I'm not sure. He's sort of flicking it out of the front of his hand there. I'm just trying to pick up whether he's bowling leg spin, off spin, or sort of just flicking them out. Just getting that line and length. It's very interesting. Look at the wide, fingers wide apart. Let's have a look at how he releases this.
And he finishes the over quickly as well. Half an over done and dusted within no time.
Yeah, it's a real thing for the slow bowlers if they can.
The captains love you when you do that.
Yeah, the bowler at the other end may not if he's a quick.
And the two teams which have to play the third game also love you.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's where he was eyeing. Was the black car the side screen?
Yes. Yeah, the front of the hand.
Good over so far from Krit Darji.
Got me fascinated how he seems to be flicking it out through flicking. The traditional spin is more side of hand. This is coming out of the front.
Interesting. And what seems to be a variation for different bowlers, for usual bowlers that is of finger spin, has become the stock ball for Krit Darji.
Yeah.
It's a good point that you mentioned, Grant. At 2 runs though. Can't question his efficacy.
No.
If he can close it out well, that'll be the best thing in the world for him. Does well. There's protection in the deep. 3 runs of this over. 65 for 4.
Yeah, that's one of the real advantages of the slow bowler. If you can get on a roll and get through his overs quickly before you know it, there's only 3 off, and that's a win for the bowler. Definitely a win for the bowling team. Bring it below a run a ball. So the current run rate bringing them to around that well, it is 108, but you're going to want at least 20 or 30 more than that, because the conditions are really good here at the moment for batting. Down the ground, no ball, no run. Just a leg spin, rolls it out. Nice control. Gives himself some room, doesn't beat the cover fielder. Good cricket, well bowled. Down the ground, has he got enough? He has, certainly has, that's 6. Nicely struck.
Good luck retrieving that.
Let's take a look at the replay, Suas.
Stand and deliver. Yeah, got underneath this one quite easily. Azaan plays a shot of the day so far. 2 dot balls, something had to give. Good news is that the ball is back, and it's also resembling a sphere after all the different surfaces it would have had to go through.
Oh, well bowled. Good comeback. Just pitching outside off stump, pitching up. Beats the batter outside off stump.
Road, grass, pebbles. What else would you find on the road down there? The tiles. Oh, good stop.
I think you've got them covered there, Suez. That's a good question. There'd be some leaves, probably. Good, I'm happy with your summary. That's Carnival.
Can he borrow a leaf out of Azaan's book?
Oh, he throws that up beautifully. Love to see it thrown up like that just for a single.
He'll be kicking himself that Tristan gets a full toss just when he's trying to get going. 73 for 4.
Water there for the batter, Azaan Syed. It's been out there for a while now, and it is starting to heat up. And Melbourne can get super hot when it wants to. Remember being here one year for the Australian Open tennis, and it was furnace-like conditions, 40-something degrees, very dry, without the humidity, but it certainly is hot out there at the moment. Our Kangaroos wearing their black strip with the gold. For 73. The good news is 7 overs to go and still 6 wickets in hand. Quick single gets through. Well run.
Krit Darji has been very impressive. The front of the hand flick is working for sure for Krit Darji. Very interested to see what his variation is going to be.
Yeah, I think it might be a little leg spin action. Let me have a look at that. That's flick again, I reckon.
Reminds me a little bit of Abhishek Bodugam. Akhilesh Bodugam, correction.
Okay.
Akhilesh Bodugam from USA. He's an off spinner, but he bowls mostly from the front of the hand, much like turning the doorknob, but only with the wrist.
Yep.
But he's got a similar delivery that he calls a variation, but that is the stock ball for Krit.
Yep.
Well stopped.
Yeah, that's. I think facing that for the first time would be interesting. A bit confusing.
Well negotiated so far, but the runs are not coming by.
It's one thing to have that interesting action, but he's got lovely control there too at the moment.
Which bowler is a keeper's dream, Grant, if you could tell us? Which bowler?
Leggies. Love the leggies.
Leggies.
Leg spinners, because you get, particularly the right hander, you get really good vision on the ball, and it's always turning, usually turning away, which means that you get great, good to see it.
Did you sledge somebody, Grant, as a keeper?
Sledge anyone?
Did you sledge?
No, not me. I was way too polite. So
is there a breed called polite keepers? Trouble at the strikers end. But the throw was at the non-strikers. This is what happens when the parcel is sent to the wrong address.
Now let's have a look. I don't know that the bowler did enough to make sure that this got onto the wicket. Let's pick up. Great throw. Oh, that was out too. That was the dangerous player. Was it? No, it was
77 for 4.
Carnival, but
it was Tristan Carnival, but he might be in trouble. Had there been a direct hit, Tristan could have been in trouble as well. Having said that, the better opportunity was presented at the striker's end. Azaan was struggling. Yes. Azaan was stuttering for that single.
New bowler, Singh. You put Singh down to deep long on.
Krit, who's bowled a good over.
Yes, he's
had to take that.
Yep, he's got his hands to it. Disappointed.
Japjot creates the opportunity. That should have been taken.
Saved the boundary, got up and saved the boundary, but Yep, drop the catch. Down the ground again for a single this time. Swings into the gap. That'll be 4. Gap between deep mid-wicket and deep square leg. Much needed 4. Added to the total. I think that's a little short. Let's have a look at the replay. Yep, very short. Could have hit that anywhere on the leg side and picked the gap nicely.
Slapped it straight. No chance for the fielders. This was the most authoritative of the shots he's played so far.
And again, he had options because the ball was so short. Just hit me wherever you like. Look where that's bouncing. That's just over halfway. That gives the batter too many options. And then he throws one up and an air swing. Just a single, and that will be the end of the over. End of the 15th. 4 for 88. Tristan. Tristan Carnival, 5 of 11. Azaan Syed, 48 of 45. Syed on strike. In the air, chips it away. Gets away with that. That's a single. Welcome back, Dan. Dan Lonigan.
Thanks, Grant. It's been a real struggle, hasn't it, for the Kangaroos just to get anything going, although they've only lost the 4 wickets. They've been squeezed out, but well batted by Syed. 49 or 46 has been good.
Retaining the strike nicely there. 1 for his 50. In any format of the game, getting a milestone's always something that can be very proud of. And big difference between getting 49 and 50. Let's see how we go. Plays it straight to short cover.
Is it a bigger difference between 49 and 50 and 99 and 100?
Yeah, that's a difference.
Yes.
And there it is. There's his 50. He'll be very happy with that. Well batted. Azaan Syed, he gets a little applause from his teammates. He acknowledges them. Well done. He's keeping his team in this game.
Sixth half century of the series.
In the air, down the throat of Long On, who takes it very nonchalantly. He was very calm. Really good catch down there. Number 7. And that's the next wicket to fall. Let's have a look at the replay. Down it goes. Nice and calmly taken.
It's catching practice, isn't it?
It is catching practice. Couldn't have picked him out better. And given that he was striking at 50%, 50 runs per 100 balls, he probably may have get some better support, more support now from the new player in.
Well, I think he just has to go, doesn't he?
Turakal, Lockman Turakal. Yeah, 5 down for 91. What's your projector score, Dan?
Oh, Well, if Syed can stay in, I think they can get 120. And that's something then to bowl at. But their bowling, as we spoke about the other day, Grant, needs to improve out of sight.
It could very well.
Yeah, I hope it does. Yeah.
Down the ground. 1 run.
Because there were a lot of positives. I like their pace bowlers. There was 1 or 2 in particular that were quick, but they just couldn't quite control the swing.
So that's the end of the 16th over now. They stay at this run rate, the projected score 115. So it's just brought up his half century. Tuckerwell new to the crease. We've got our opening bowler coming into the attack now. This time from the northern end.
He batted well the other day. Tuckerwell.
Lockman. Tuckerwell. Is this Crit Darji coming back into the attack? 1 for 11 or 3? That's how he handles the other end, the northern end of the ground.
I think he's coming back.
Darji. Crit Darji. Just a single, little tap there behind point. Nice and safe. Rotating the strike. Just like to think that the Kangaroos have got someone with some big strike power in them. It might be Syed. Well and truly in. Seeing them well.
Sani bowled well at this southern end.
Gives himself some room. Bats it down to long off. 1 run only.
As he hustled and bustled his way in and got a very important wicket in his first spell. So, different end now. Darji, of course, was the star for India the other day, getting the 3 wickets. Ooh.
Line. Tuckerwell going the big heave-ho onto the leg side.
Yeah, they need at least a boundary in every over from here. They're well short at the moment. Trying to hit it a bit too hard, I think.
Yes, common mistake. The overhit.
Plenty of gaps in that onside, Grant, as you can see, especially inside the circle in front of the wicket. Just see if he can, even if he has to come across his stumps and be and improvise a bit, just knock it away.
Yeah, 2's are better than none, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So pick up 2's and get busy. Rotate the strike. Hold him.
Yeah,
Yep, he's just going, as you're alluding to, Dan, he's just going for the big shot every ball when what was required was just runs every ball. Rotating the strike, picking up 2's.
or turning it over to Syed. I mean, Syed's done a great job, but he's not going to be much help to them at the non-strikers end. He's batted beautifully. He's paced his innings. And maybe he has a plan that, okay, I've got the 50 now. I've done it without a lot of risk. And I can have a crack. But I've got to get down at the striker's end, obviously, to be able to have that crack and give us something to bowl at. Second wicket for Namesh Saini, the left armour.
And only 2 runs off, so he's doing his job. He's
Sure is.
playing a very good role for his team, Sani.
He opened the bowling with Payush, who bowled through. We're very impressed with him in his spell. 2 for 16.
Yep.
This is the other Tawakul, Osman Tawakul.
Tipping away, just checked his shot, down a long off for a single, retains the strike, and that's the end of the over. Good one from Nemish Saji, 2 for 16 off 3.
Well, they've got to get Syed on strike, just has to rotate quickly, and then he needs to probably monopolise it from here, Grant, to get them up to a decent score.
Yeah, he should be saying to his partner, look, I'm been here for a long time, I'm seeing them well, just get me on strike, and I think that's the best thing for the team.
So 3 overs remaining, 6 for 95.
No rotation of strike there. Come on, down the other Osman. Get Syed on strike. The right idea, yeah, disappointed. A lot of space in the onside, and to just tap it there, come on, just behind square or on square, not bowling quickly. Rotate the strike.
Mid off and mid on the boundary too.
Oh dear me, yep. And Azaan Syed just must be looking down the other and thinking, I need help, boys, to get us to a competitive total.
And then there's that issue, of course, that he's been at the non-strikers end for so long, he then feels he's got to go a big shot to just keep it going.
That's a stumping. It is. That's. I'd like to see more game awareness there by Osman Tawakul. Like, he didn't need to do all the heavy lifting then. He needed to pass the baton over to Syed, get him on strike. That the big shot brought about his downfall.
He's bowled beautifully, Darcy, again. It's hard to get away, isn't he?
He's giving him out.
He has.
LB.
The slow finger.
Batter's looking at his bat thinking, did I hit that? But the man that matters believed he didn't. It looks like it was out. We'll have a look at the replay. Oh no, that's well and truly OUT out.
ST Grant, Salmon Trout. So there's one hat trick in the competition so far, Tariq of Pakistan, and this will be the third player on a hat trick. Let's see if Darji, who's bowled beautifully again, just impossible to get away, landing it on the spot.
17 overs down, no wicket on a hat trick. Let's see how he approaches this, the new player, new batter. Looks like he's a left-hander.
Would you be telling Haroon Nadeem, if you were Syed, just see out these two balls and I will take over at the other end?
Yep, I think so, rather than risk losing us. We've lost a complete over here now because he wasn't on strike. He's bowled down leg, he's bowled a wide for his hat-trick ball.
Anticlimactic.
Well, he may have been aiming for leg stump, which didn't seem it was that far away, but no ball, of course, so down the ground.
Oh.
He's got a single, so that means that Syed should be able to get a single to get back on strike. His temptation will be to try and hit a boundary, of course, because he's getting. But what he does need to do, Dan, you're dead right, what you're alluding to. He needs to just get himself back single. Don't worry about the big shot because you get 12 balls you can probably get after this. So back down there, he's got the big shot, but it's come off in a big way.
It has.
It's a big six, a real big six. It's gone a long way.
Obviously his attitude is 6 runs are better than 1, Grant. He gets it past 100.
Now he's not on strike now, but he's probably telling his mate, you get me down the other end. So I can do that a few more times. Because if I can do that a few more times, we're setting a competitive total. That was nicely struck.
It's a beautiful shot, wasn't it?
That was a really good shot.
And he hasn't given the batters, Darcy, a lot of chance to get underneath it and play a shot like that.
Nadine's a good player. He was the man of the match yesterday in the game. He batted well, and he's a smart cricketer. I think he's having a look around. Let's see what the result of the chat was. Now this will be just outside off stump if he's bowling well. There's got to be a single here somewhere. There it is. Even more, he's going to get 2. Yep, got to take the runs while they're on offer. 2 runs, nice little glide behind point.
Now to get off strike, if he can.
No. One person there on that onside. Just push it a little bit harder. You beat that person, and we've turned the strike over.
You hit it too straight, didn't he? Just had to.
What I love about playing this ACL, because it's such good quality cricket, you can learn so much about the game, about how to play the game, get your cricket craft, if you like. Now he's going to get out probably. Oh. Now this is going to be a hard catch. He's left it go. So it was just hard. Talk about hard. So he's got the single we were looking for, Dan. Can I call that an unconventional push for a single, Dan? I think that probably was. But also he's lost sight of this. And white ball in blue sky, you can really lose that. And that's exactly what's happened there, I'd say.
Rambier was the one that lost it then. He just, yeah, you're right, didn't know where it was.
He lost it.
Yeah.
White ball, blue sky.
Very bright, of course, isn't it?
Can make a difficult combination.
Slow one, and it's close to wide. I reckon there's some that have been given as wides. That was pretty close, I thought.
So we've got 6 balls remaining, 106. The informed batsman on strike, Azaan Syed. And the informed bowler, Sonny with the ball. Didn't get it.
No. Oh, he's angry with himself too. Gave himself room and he just got it at the tail end of the bat.
All right, last ball. Now he just needs a single. Obviously, if it's there, hit 6 or 4, but get down the other end. Back up.
And then monopolise the strike.
He's ramping for 4.
It's a good shot.
Yep, go for 4 if you can. That's a really good shot. 110. Well played.
He came right across his stumps. Looked awkward, but it was very effective. That's an example of a player knowing his game, understanding his game, and in very, very good form.
Yeah, it was a clever shot, wasn't it, in the
end?
Yeah,
excellent.
To be able to take it from so far outside off over to the keeper's head down for 4. He's gone to 61.
Did you see that attempted ramp shot earlier where he picked out the player at backward square?
Yeah, it was
unusual, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a miss calculation by the batter. So he wasn't trying to scoop. It was like catching practice for the opposition. So last over, Nadine on strike. And a Nadine with the ball. Ayman Nadine to Haroon Nadeem. I wonder if they're related. Play a miss.
Got to get that on ball, even drop it at his feet.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cannot afford to have Syed at the non-strikers end for this entire over. They've had a couple of overs of this in the last few. He's certainly made the most of it when he's been on strike with a 6 and a boundary, a ramp shot.
Straight down in throat of the long off, and that's out. Still would have been just looking to bring. Do they cross? And it doesn't matter, does it?
No.
These days? It shouldn't matter. They should be just. Don't have the cross law anymore. Again, match awareness.
Yes.
Why not hit that on the ground, pick up a single, and get the informed batsman on strike for the last 4? Hate to be critical, but I hope that the boys do hear some of the commentary. It's easy for us, of course, sitting up here in our ivory towers, Dan, but it's pretty obvious what needs to happen, and the difference could be 20 runs, which could be the win.
I was listening to you talking to the young man that unfortunately dropped those 2 catches for the Kiwi Warriors, Bassi, and you were fantastic.
Oh, thanks.
I mean, if I was in his shoes, I'd walk away thinking I'm 10 feet taller than I was before, because you were just being positive. Next time you'll get it. Next time you'll get it.
Thanks. Yeah.
Has to forget about it now. It's gone.
And I just said, a little voice in your head saying, I'm glad it's coming to me. I'll catch this.
Yeah.
And then that gives yourself, you give yourself a good chance.
Rambier's plugging a gap there at point. They want to try and keep Ibi Khan on strike here. Good running.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Picked up the single, get the informed man on strike. 9 for Nelson, 9 for 1-1-1. And you'd just like to see that break that barrier, the 120 at least. This gives that little glint of hope that you're going to be able to protect that score.
Fraught with danger a bit because Rambier's a great fielder and it was hit straight to him. Hit well, but hard, but good running.
Down the ground. No, he doesn't get it quite. Thick outside edge.
Yeah. Disappointed with that. Well up ball. Needs at least 1 boundary.
2 balls remaining. 6-6 takes them well into the 20s. 4-4 takes them with a target of 120. Down the ground. And short. Well stopped there. Saved 4 runs.
Yep. And they didn't run.
And they didn't run.
So he just has to score off the last one. He'd be really disappointed if he had 3 dot balls at the end.
I like what the fielder did then, just made sure that there was no boundary. Ramps, down it goes.
Great shot.
And that's 4. That's a good finish to the innings. 115 will be the total. Well battered young Syed. Gives himself, comes right across. It was once, of course, he starts to move, that takes the wide ball out of the equation. That was enough. So it was never going to be a wide, even though it nearly missed the moan strip, the cut strip, and that's it.
He was nearly on the next pitch when he played that, Grant. It was an unbelievable shot.
Yeah, he was. And the bowler chased him, but he was good enough to clear keeper again down for 4. Indian Tigers, they need 116 runs in their 20 overs. And that'll take them, if they can do that, that'll take them to 2 wins, won't it, Dan?
It will, and that'll mean that they'll be playing Pakistan, the last game of the pool competition, tomorrow afternoon, to see who finishes top in Group A. If the Kangaroos can win, they're alive.
Let's see the scorecards any moment.
But I still think they're about 20 short.
Yeah, you think 116 shouldn't be enough in these conditions now. It's really moving in favour of batting all the time. And here they are. We have Bra, and Raza opened the batting, and they 10 and 5 respectively. Syed came in at number 4, and look at that, 65 or 56, and then he was sort of supported to a degree from the rest of the order. Razar, Carnival, Tuckawal, the Tuckawal boys, 7, 6, 2 and 1.
Only one other player got double figures, Bra, and he got 10. Now, Payush, 2 for 16. Saini, the other opening bowler, 2 for 23. Darji, second 3-wicket haul in the tournament, 3 for 19, was on a hat-trick. And Nadeem, 2 for 23. So the bowlers did an outstanding job. So the target, 116 for the Indian Tigers to be undefeated. Kangaroos hoping to win their first game, looking to defend 9 for 115 very shortly. Have set the Indian Tigers 116 to win. Syed batted well. They lost wickets at the very end when he couldn't get on strike. Some poor game awareness from the lower order batters for the Kangaroos. Probably cost them 10-15 runs at least. Syed, if he had been on strike, might have muscled a couple of extra boundaries or even a 6, but he did bat really well.
But you've got to forget that now.
Oh, they do. They've got to try and defend this.
Put that behind and concentrate on mission that's in front of them.
Suhas is with Dan Lonigan for the first 5 overs of this run chase. And they just need to bowl a lot better than they did the other night, the Sydney Kangaroos. They just couldn't control their swing.
What's so exciting to watch is that slip is really far away. Can there be carry? First ball.
If he can't, is quick, and that's not a bad delivery, but it tucked away, and they get 1 run immediately, India, with Teja Hari and Ayman Nadeem, the openers. Nadeem, the left-hander, knocking the first one away for the first run. I actually was quite impressed
By?
Ibby Khan the other day. Thought he was okay.
He's got the pace for sure, but he's searching for the right line. It was the first ball that he didn't land exactly where he wanted to.
No.
Especially if the captain's granting you a slip, you want to bowl outside of.
And they're miles away too. Rod Marsh and Ian Chappell in the good old days. Halfway to the boundary, squares up. Hardy, beautiful ball.
There's a word or two spoken by Ibi.
That's what we want.
It's that time of the day as well. It's very hot. Where a fast ball is steaming in will elongate his follow through to tell a few words.
That's what we want.
A few kind words.
He's out of the way though, and then it sort of almost faded to the wicket keeper standing halfway back, as I say, to the boundary.
Tejas is playing the waiting game at this stage. He wants one in his wheelhouse to start scoring runs. 2 good deliveries from Ibi to Tejas.
Point is deep. Cover point is pretty deep. Extra cover, mid-off, mid-on, mid-wicket. Third man and fine legs going right around to a virtual deep backward square. Ibby again from the southern end. Rushes in and it's driven into the covers and there's no run. He looks like he means business, Big Ibby. What do you think, Suhas? 15-20 short with the bat?
Looking at the first game, perhaps, yes, and also looking at the way they started, the Kangaroos, it looked like the 130 was certainly on the cards. Good bowling, especially by the Indian spinners to pull it back.
Ibby bowls, swing and a miss. And he was looking to drive. Floating with danger a bit because of that stacked offside field. He would need to lift it and lift it quite a bit to get it away from those waiting fielders on the offside. And he's made a good start here, the big fellow.
100%, and I'm very surprised that the slip hasn't come into play yet. So many times there have been genuine wafts.
Maybe just too good to get an edge. That's down the leg side. It's magnificently taken by the wicket-keeper, but there's a wide, and that was their issue the other night. They just couldn't control the ball. No balls were there as well. A couple of 11 ball overs. Took a long time to get through their overs. They were, I suppose, all lucky because it was getting a bit dark that the match ended quickly. Pakistan very comfortably chased down the 128 thanks to Farouk's brilliant 74 not out. He got 65 unbeaten yesterday. Ivy again. This is flicked in the air, caught at mid-wicket. Bowled it on the leg stump, and all he did was spoon it away ordinarily. Then Tejas, and he's gone, and they've got a wicket. They'll be happy with that. An early one.
Tejas was taken by surprise. This one popped up as well. And Ibi Khan has the last laugh, not the line that he intended to get a wicket with. But a good catch will also ensure that Tejas Hari departs without troubling the scorers. 2 for $1. Now 2 for 1.
How many times does that happen when you bowl 3 or 4 very good ones outside the off stump, play a miss, and the ball's not as good? It's on the leg stump. But he just got himself a little bit tangled, and he just ballooned it in the air. It was catching practice.
Tejas got into an awkward position to try and play that shot as well. Couldn't control it whatsoever. And a good catch inside the circle. As he departs without troubling the scorers, it's 2 for 1. Ibi Khan completes a successful over. And the extra delivery because of the wide ball grants him the wicket. It's not the first time we've seen that in Aussie Cricket League. This under-19 edition in 2025, we've seen this so many times, and it's very surprising.
Had long run-ups to the Sydney Kangaroos paces. That's why they were taking a long time to get through their overs when they were bowling extra balls. Saxon Pathania is the new batsman. Batted okay by memory on Monday.
The left-handed Saksham will have to wait for his turn.
Haroon Nadeem is the bowler. He's pretty quick too. And it's driven down the ground and over pitch ball to mid-off. And he's 2 from 2. So we've got Eamon Nadeem facing Haroon Nadeem. Nadeem to Nadeem. One for 3.
Saksham on strike for the first time.
Yes. Still a slip in place. Carnival, the wicket keeper, issuing some instructions. Why do you think his name's Bobby? I'll tell you why in a minute. Operating from the northern end, Haroon Nadeem down the leg side, and Carnival for the second time has had to dive across athletically, and he's stopped it from going to the boundary. But an extra run on the board, 1 for 4 years. Bobby Carnival's an actor, married to Australian Rose Byrne, very good actress. And the surname spelt very similar. Thanks for laughing around the world on Set Sports. 1 for 4 in the second over. Suhas is smiling. I'll take that. That's good. Nadeem in again. And this is flicked away to mid-wicket. And they managed to get home. Good running because it wasn't that far away. But they showed terrific intent.
Intent is key here. And it's important to recognize the runs as early as possible as well, especially the ones which are inside the 30-yard circle, because the fielders are buzzing. In an under-19 tournament, the fitness levels are extreme as well, remember that. So the tap and run is not going to be easy, especially as a batter who's played on the back foot.
Still a slip in place. The Dean bowls wide of the off stump to the left-hander, who just has a look and says, no, I'm not interested in that.
Slip persists still.
Third man is out. Mid-wicket is out.
Yeah, Lokman Tawakal hasn't troubled them yet. Troubled the batters yet, but the slip persists for the two left-handers out there.
You happy with that?
Very surprised.
Yeah, I think there's a change in the bowler, the name. I'll confirm that in a second. This is cut away, and good piece of fielding. He parried it in front in the covers. Nearly got away from him. They thought about a run, but that was well done because it was a little bit short outside the off stump, and they managed to ensure that there was no run.
A good stop by Raz.
It's not Nadeem, the bowler, just confirming.
Lokman Tawakal.
Yeah, Lachlan Tomacal, you're right. Another tall right arm bowler with a long run up, 3/4 of the way to the fence. Like the good old days. Lily, Merv Hughes, Bob Willis. Dropped into the offside, they'll take on the fielder and they'll come off and win that battle because he didn't take the ball with him. Well done. Good cricket by the Indians. Very alert there, keeping the fielders on their toes for a tip and run exercise.
This over is taking a while. Remember there was a wide delivery in this one too.
Yeah.
So this is the extra delivery. And so many times the extra delivery has produced a wicket. Can this work in the bowler's favour? The slip still persists. Surprisingly, the ball hasn't moved as much to be having the slip in place for such a long time.
Lachlan.
The left-hander hasn't been troubled at all. Now
No.
the righty. Foreman inside the circle on the off. That is despite the slip. Make it 5.
The Demons look comfortable, the left-hander. This is wide of the off stump and he allows to pass. Does Saxon. So 2 overs gone.
6 for
1 for 6. I know you say 6 for 1, Suhas. Just wonder why. Just on that, Australia's the only country in the world that puts the wicket before the score. Every other country puts the score before the wicket. I mean, we're used to it. I've done it for years as a broadcaster. I did it obviously when I first started following cricket back in 1975 when you weren't even a thought in your mother or father's mind. But yeah, I don't quite understand. We always thought, well, why do India do 6 for 1 or New Zealand do 19 for 1, England the same? They're not doing it properly, but apparently we're the ones that haven't done it properly for years.
Yeah, the whole world will look at you and say, why are you doing it differently? As
Yes.
long as the game is so accommodative that we can have both ways, why do you worry?
Well, that's right. I don't worry, but it's just it's another.
It's only when too many wickets fall and suddenly you're saying it's 2 for 3,
Yeah, correct.
and then an Australian you're happy. You think it's 2 wickets? You think it's 2 wickets, right?
Here's Eddie, and that was a bit wide of the off stump. Called a wide. Gee, a little bit unlucky, I thought. Still reckon that was inside the line, and it swung away late.
Yep.
1 for 7. Idiosyncratic cricket, isn't it, with some of its rules? I mean, for a long, long time, lunch was not a movable feast. You'd get on the ground in Australia 5 to 1. It had been raining all morning. You'd face 1 over, still have to have lunch at 1 o'clock.
Interesting. And ours is the only sport that revolves around meal times.
Yes. Pushed into the offside. T, of course, has been very different. I mean, 8 out and then, oh, geez, hurt himself carnivals. He went to take that. He really has. That's got him in a very, very fleshy part of the finger. The wicket keeper, he might have broken something there.
Boy, struggling there.
Yep.
This does not look good at all. He's flinching in pain.
Yeah, he is. He is. I reckon he's broken something. That looked really, really bad.
Yeah, very nasty indeed, and it's the right thing to do. He's decided to leave the field.
Yeah.
You could see that impression of the ball.
Oh, yeah, he's in pain. Are they going to have to put it back in even? Oh, he's writhing in pain as the cameras are on him. Need an ice pack. We all need an ice pack, but certainly young Carnival needs one. So we're going to have a little bit of a break here because of the injury to Carnival, trying to take the return as the wicket keeper for the Kangaroos. Earlier today, they won with one ball remaining. The Afghanistan Eagles, and they've got another match today, double header for them. Up next to complete day 3 against the Melbourne Pirates. And they win that. They need to wait and see what the Kiwi Warriors do in the morning, as their net run rate wouldn't have been helped that much by that narrow victory. So this is obviously a pretty serious injury. They've got another wicket keeper who's had a bit of experience in doing it. We'll have to find someone.
Piyush is out there trying to understand what exactly went on. And Piyush, remember, in under 19 ACL, he himself got hurt once, so he knows the pain.
Oh yes.
You remember that shot? He was trying to play the lap shot. The ball hit straight onto his chest.
That's right. I remember that.
That was in Noosa, Brisbane.
Yes, I was there. Do you remember before that final, it absolutely chucked it down, rained heavily.
Oh yeah.
Thought we won't get on.
Yeah.
We got on.
That's the cricketing gods blessing us eventually, because
Correct.
we did get the game in.
And the tropical weather, and again we send our best wishes out to all our friends in Queensland. They've got
Good news is that the keeper, Tristan, has not left the field.
good. I hope he's okay, the young man.
He might be good enough to continue, and that's what he's doing. Put his pains behind.
He might have just needed some spray or just a very quick ice pack. He's still looking at it, but he might be okay. Well done.
It's
Yes.
a temporary tattoo, don't worry.
Tropical cyclone Alfred is hovering. Grant lives up in Brisbane, and we've just heard they've run out of items in all the supermarkets. They've run out of gas for the methane gas for all the various generators that are going to be needed. If the power goes out for a while, people are queuing up for petrol, which they're running out of, sandbagging all their houses, so we just wish them all the best. It's going to be a tough 24 hours or so. So we resume normal transmission at 1 for 8. We hope young Tristan Carnival, the wicketkeeper's okay. Ibby in. And that took off. Carnival took it quite well out in front of his face. That absolutely took off.
The fact that he's collected it well is good news.
They need 108 to 106 balls.
He's still looking at the place that he got hurt. Saksham Patania is still looking for that one delivery that will announce his arrival back in form. That one shot. Straight down the ground, perhaps.
He's facing Ivy again. And he played that away from the body. He had a poke at it, and it was right on line. This is excellent bowling by the big fellow, the left armour.
Good delivery once again, sticking to the plan. The angle works.
Slip and the wicket keeper still pretty deep. Forward square mid-wicket on the onside. It's down the leg side. He's taken that again. No, he didn't quite take it. Fling at the stumps by the first slipper. And it's
2 runs.
Two runs, correct. Didn't do a bad job. Again, he flung himself down that leg side to take it. Just couldn't quite hang on to it. 1 for 10. So 2 wides already.
Mid off in place. Slip in place. Man at point. Of course, a very traditional third man.
Short straight cover.
Yes, was coming to that. That is the catching position. Because EB has got this knack of generating sudden bounce. That's the way Tejas found himself back in the hat.
He drives it nicely to deep cover and gets another run. He looks quite organised, Nadeem, doesn't he, the way he's playing? 5 off 7. It's 1 for 11 in the third over. Now a chance for Saxon to get going. 1 off 4.
He's got to look leg side-ish, otherwise cover up for that angle. Oh, yeah. This one was quick and straight.
Was. Hit him on the pad. Way down leg. You're right, it was quick. Thinking it could be a no ball. We're going to have a look here. Okay. Yep, it was okay. So, Ivy again. Working away. This is hit in the air, but he skied it straight away. Should be caught. Dropped at mid-wicket.
And the run-out opportunity
also
goes begging. Saksham survives not once but twice in 5 seconds. Lot to think about in this over break. Ibi is kicking himself. He knew he's got a wicket that has slipped away.
Yes, because it was socket towards the stumps, wasn't it? Ash was the player that dropped the catch. And then he realised that Saxon was on his way for the run, and he tried some fancy footwork and didn't miss by too much. So 1 for 13 after 3. It's been a slow start over Wise as we expected. Tarvical pushing in off the fence from the northern end. Still a slip in place. And attempting to swing this one with a slog sweep. And it goes down the leg side. He missed. It's another extra.
Saksham survives and he's got to make the opposition pay for it.
He does.
So far the Tigers have been quiet. 13 for 1. They've been kept quiet. The only thing that the Kangaroos need to work on is the fielding.
And getting through their overs quicker.
The Kangaroos, they have longer run-ups, yes, and the wide deliveries are not helping.
No. He attempts to whack that out of the ground like a number of young players, trying to hit it a little bit too hard, and it just takes the outside edge and squeezes away. I reckon he got very little bat on that for a lot of effort. Brings the more organised Nadeem on strike as Saxon tries to find his best form. It seems a long way away at the moment. 2 from 7. It's 1 for 14 in the fourth over. They need further 102 off 101. Target 116 after Syed anchored a nice half century in a score by the Kangaroos of 9 for 115. Down the ground, driving hard. He takes evasive action too. It was hit in the air and he had to duck from the drive from the Deem, did Saxon, and he stayed out of trouble. Hit too firmly though, mid-off. Interferes, no run.
Lakmal Tawakal has got a good Yorker as well. We haven't seen it thus far in this season.
More fielding changes. They've decided they want to add another offside fielder in front of the circle. Short straight covers there, and now I've got a very deep cover and point. Nadeem ready for Tarkawal, and he hits it high and long, lofting it over long on. That's a nice shot, and that goes for 6. He got underneath it. It was a length ball, and he put it away as he should.
Got into a good position to play that shot. That trigger movement definitely helped. And no half measures whatsoever. Sends it sailing for 6. Good collect by Afzal. Pakistani Sultans, they'll be playing Indian Tigers in their next encounter. What a game that would be.
Especially if they're undefeated, looking for top spot in their pool. 1 for 20 in the fourth. Tarkawal bowls again, driven to mid-off. Then again, straight to the field. A beautiful cricket shot.
At this point, it feels like the slip fielder is a wasted talent.
Yeah.
He's too far away. The ball will hardly travel. The ball will hardly carry. And the batters have started to strike well. Unless Luqman Tawakal either changes the angle or bowls a little wider so that the batter goes after the ball, I don't think the slip will come into play. And there is not as much swing to keep the slip fielder interested.
So superfluous to need, you think?
Maybe.
Tawakal now to Nadeem, who's got 11 off 10. He's looked pretty sound. Gives himself room. Once more, he wasn't able to get enough on it. Following him, some clever bowling. Tarkawal, he just steers it back to the bowler. Another opportunity goes begging. But he's hitting most of them in the middle at the moment. Nadeem just needs to remain patient. 1 for 20 in the fourth.
He's a little tired there, Tawakal.
Maybe cut his run up by half. Something these young guys can learn as they go along.
Or he might be fasting.
Could be. Absolutely could be. Down the leg side. And it's a wide. Missed by the wicket-keeper Carnival. He made a good effort to get there. No chance for fine leg. It was a bit square to get that. Nutty. And an extra 4 runs, and you're right, he's in trouble. The umpire is talking to him, he's on his haunches. Yeah, I think he's in real trouble here. He can hardly stand up, he's on his haunches.
It's very hot out there. He's not 100%.
No, he's not.
He's got a sip of water, yes.
Good. Excellent.
Is it the northern wind that you talk about?
Yeah, it's a shocker.
Is it that?
probably adds 3 or 4 degrees. And if you're inland, it's terrible. If you're on the beach, it's all right. I mean, I live at Williamstown, and you can when you go outside, and you go down the street a little bit, I'm not far away from the beach, you can actually feel the breeze. And if you go down the coast, whether it be Mornington Peninsula or Bellarine Peninsula, past Geelong, Mornington Peninsula, past Frankston, or on this side of town for the Mornington Peninsula, when you go to those seaside resorts, it's a bit cooler again because of the breeze.
Can he finish it off?
Yes, come on, young man. You've done a great job. Tawakul. And he gives himself room, and he has a swing and a miss. He had all the stumps to look at then, Tawakul, because he was looking to be agricultural and unorthodox, but he missed it, Nadeem. And I think he's going to come off. He needs a rest, and I hope he's okay. 1 for 25 off 4. Current run rate 6.25, run rate required 5.69. So Nadeem 11, Saxon 2. It has been, Suhas, a pretty hot summer. We're now in autumn, and you don't get a lot of. Sometimes you do, but you don't on a regular basis. It's only the very early start of autumn. Hot days like this in autumn in Melbourne. March is generally nice weather, mid-20s, but not mid-30s. This is Haroon Nadeem. And he looks like he's going through slow motion a bit too. One for 25. Try to make some fielding changes. The umpire's urging them to get on with it a bit. So there's a virtual change here of the two fielders. From mid-off to mid-wicket, they change. Mid-off is the man that dropped the catch. He was at mid-wicket. So Haroon Nadeem. This is chopped away to point. Shy at the stumps. He virtually sacrificed Nadeem of the Indian Tigers then, Saxon, because if that return had have hit, Nadeem was on his way. But he gets 2.
100%.
That was a suicide single.
Yeah, it was nowhere close to being home. It was his call. Nadeem. And
What?
Saksham, of course, wouldn't want to turn down captain's call.
No. Wasn't even in the street in regard to being home, was he? Hadn't turned the corner. Couldn't see the house.
They're taking too much time here.
Oh, way too much time.
Haroon Nadeem's got a long run up too.
Yes.
It's not helping.
Didn't become as big an issue as it could have on Monday because Pakistan won easily, but they took forever. Haroon Nadeem bowls. Top edge this time. He's done the Roy Fredericks. Is the wind going to help carry that for 6? No, 4. Roy Fredericks is a left-hander. Saxon's the right-hander. And he got a top edge and hooked it over the keeper's head for 4 runs near the scaffolding. Not a great shot, but it comes off. 1 for 31 in the 5th over. They need a further 85 to remain undefeated, the Indian Tigers.
Toe into the bat.
Yeah.
Lucky enough that it didn't go to the keeper. Went past him quite easily.
He actually put a lot of effort into it. So here's Haroon again. It looks like he's a bit zapped of energy as well. Working away from the southern end, and this is uppercut, but he might be caught. He is! He got it too square, and there was a man waiting at squarish third man and takes the catch.
That is a marvellous catch. Indeed, he was on the move and he never lost sight of the ball. Very good catch, and that's the end of Saksham, who played a stylish stroke all right, but picked the fielder out. Saksham doesn't add to the score he was eventually out at. Saksham was given a life. Didn't do much. 31 for 2. 6 runs had come off the over, and he wanted the boundary here.
Good catch by Raza.
Raza makes no mistake. So Saksham doesn't add much to where he should have been out.
Adisha Zakari.
He has done his bit with the ball in hand. Aditya
He has.
Thackeray now, along with skipper Ayman Nadeem. Can he take his team closer?
These two are the more important players in this side, do you think? In regard to the batters?
Well, I'm covering the Indian Tigers after a long time, and it looks like a revamped side.
Right.
You might need to allow me a couple of more games before I can answer that question.
My apologies. I've thrown you under the bus. I didn't mean to do that. It's a big Australian term when you give someone a question without notice and they're not ready for it.
I know under the bus, yes, but I just don't know the answer to this question.
Yes.
The
No.
Indians are okay.
Don't be worried about it. Haroon Nadeem.
You said that Ranbir, if I'm not wrong, was good with the bat in hand initially in the last game that you saw him. Or
Yes, he was. He was very good. Very, very good.
if he's a handy batter
Yeah.
who's high on confidence, you need to serve him a situation from which he can express himself. And for that to happen, the Tigers need a partnership.
Another leg side wide. 2 for 32. 2 for 32 in the 5th over. Suhas has just said taking forever to bowl 5 overs. Said we saw this on Monday, Grant night. This is knocked away into the offside to point. Oh! And a direct hit. But I think they were okay.
I think the umpires would be wary and they would keep a check on time as well. It's taken forever to bowl 5 overs also because of the extra deliveries bowled. Remember, so many wides.
And the long run-ups.
Yes, the long run-ups too.
They're going to check this run out here. It was a good return. And it is Nadeem. There's been a couple of injuries to Carnival, the wicketkeeper. Received a nasty blow to the finger. He's okay though, and we hope he's alright. Tarkawal had to go off. He was struggling with his energy levels.
I thought you said Taco Bell. And it's going to be a free hit. And talking about a long over, there's another extra.
Yeah.
Survives the free hit as well. Oh, well, survives the run out, I should say.
Now he started at 3 o'clock.
It's 3:37.
Yeah. 37 minutes to bowl 5 overs.
4.3.
4 point. We haven't been bowl 5. You're right. Here's Haroon Nadeem, and that is going to be above waist high, full toss, and he plays the ramp shot over the head of the wicket keeper cleverly. Poor ball, nice shot.
And
Haroon Nadeem struggling.
the free hit will continue.
And the over will continue. There's the Will Robinson sound. Danger, danger from Lost in Space. One of the great shows of the 60s. Telling us there's a free hit. The demon again. Bowls. And a swing and a miss outside that off stump. Looking to thrash that through the onside. And wasn't successful. Nadeem is 15 off 14 and it's 2 for 39 in the fifth over. They need 77 in 92 balls, India. There's no urgency too in going back to their marks. I understand it's hot. They're doing their best.
The run-ups have been the edge of the 30-yard circle, the starting points. The run-ups.
Yeah, well, exactly right.
That's also adding up to the time.
Yeah, Haroon Nadeem.
Remember, they need to be wary of the fact that there is a third game that's to be played before
That's right.
the sun bids goodbye, and the sun doesn't wait for anyone.
We saw last night it was starting to get dark, didn't we?
Absolutely, and the game was a tight one. What if we had a super over? Then we might need to check the playing conditions again.
We'll do that. 2 for 40, 1 ball remaining. This over has been an interesting one. 2-4.
I'm very sure there is a super over, yes, but we need to check the playing conditions again. That is, if the light fades, then the super over is bowled only by spinners from both sides. The captains need to agree.
Well, last night,
Nigel was on top of his mark,
Yes.
going to bowl a very serious over, and the light started to fade. Good luck making Nigel bowl off spin then.
driven down to mid-off. They'll run with the shot. And he makes his ground, Adisha. Well done.
5 overs done and dusted with 41 for 2, the Tigers.
Grant's about to come in. And maybe Suhas can go and check those playing conditions if we get a super over. I don't really want to think about that. The greatest respect, even though we love our cricket. Afghanistan Eagles. Now, I'll be honest, because I'm an honest person. I've got dinner reservations tonight, and so has Grant. So, Suhas may have to do some heavy lifting. Hello, Grant. 40 minutes to bowl 5 overs.
Yeah, look, we had an injury and some sickness in amongst all that, so...
Yeah, we did. And we hope they're okay. Well, Carnival is, he's out there, so...
Yeah, look, it's... The umpire said now there's not a lot... The breezes are really taking a lot of effect, so it's really hot for them. Yeah, look, Melbourne in Brisbane, we're pretty used to this sort of heat. This is more a dry heat than what we get. But when you're not used to it, yeah, it can take its toll, definitely.
At this time of year, it's just one of those sticky days. I mean, the really hot days in Melbourne over the last couple of years, we've been getting the weather to be very humid too.
Oh, okay.
And really just drive you mad. You over. Oh, flat batted down the ground. That's a good cricket shot. Too short. New bowler. And he's put away straight away by Adisha.
Let's take a look at the replay. Yep, short. Gives the batter options. He can either hit that flat bat down the ground as he did, or he can hit it square, or he could go to the top of the keeper. You know, your short ball has to be quick, short, and no width if it's going to be effective.
Kashif, another one with a long run-up. Starting the 6th over from the northern end. Short again. Pulled away, but he didn't get enough of it and drags it straight to mid-wicket.
Unless you're one of the great West Indian bowlers like an Andy Roberts, and they told Greg Ritchie once, watch him, he's got 2 fast bouncers. One's fast, and the other one's lightning.
Yes, I do remember that.
And given that Greg Ritchie didn't pick up the lightning one, he actually got absolutely sconed. So you can vary your pace with your short ball, and it can be effective. But that one might have been a bit quicker and got onto him a little.
Well, this is farcical. Twice the ball's been thrown back to the bowler Kashif, and he hasn't taken it cleanly. Now he's got it. 2 for 45. Pushed into the offside. Field pretty deep in that offside. Played it nicely. Did Adisha. Brings Nadeem, the captain, on strike now. Yes, Tharkawal's come off the ground. He was lacking energy. He didn't look great at all, Grant, did he?
No, he's obviously, with the hot day, dehydration does make you feel sick, and some days you just can't get enough fluid into you.
And remember, a lot of these players, I'm not sure whether he is, are obeying Ramadan this month. He's on the move, steers it to Whitish third man, which means they can't have anything to drink or eat until the sun sets.
2 for 47 midway through the 5th over.
You get the impression, as Harry's there, wonder what's going through his mind. He's always got a lot of things going on, the big boss of the ACL. And this is cut away. That's a nice shot, beautiful shot, widery off stump, and finds the gap between squarish third man and backward point to the boundary for 4.
That was a very good shot. Look at this, bang.
Yeah. One of the shots of the tournament so far in regard to pure cricket shots, Grant.
Yep, hit that so well. Someone asked me one day, what does timing mean? I remember. And my response was, let's just watch this ball and I'll give you my response to him.
Still got a slip in place, and Suhas doesn't know why it's there. Now, this could be caught down the leg side, is it? Yes, he's gone! He's gone. He tried to tip that away from the wicket keeper. He's been great Carnival with his ability to make ground up down the leg side, and he has got a little bit of an edge on that. Adisha, he's a big wicket because he was starting to play well. It was a lazy shot in the end. Again, getting a bit more pace, Mohammad Kashif, and did a great job.
And that's the type of bounce that I'm talking about, where that put the batsman in two minds. He wasn't sure whether to really go after it or just defend it. Let's take a look. It's come down, and he's kind of just sparred at that.
Yeah.
And it's good catch down the leg side by the keeper, and good bowling. Gee, to be charging in and bowling like these conditions, that's a good job.
He sort of swatted at it, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
He didn't time that one. So tell us about timing.
And I said, intuitively, what I think timing is when the bat hits the ball at exactly the time it's meant to. So whatever shot that you are attempting to play, you're actually hitting it exactly when the ball is in that spot to hit. So it's the timing is spot on. And with that square drive or square cut before, that was all timing. He hit the ball exactly where he wanted to at the right time.
Brian Lara, a great timer. Kumar Sangakkara, a great timer. Sachin Tendulkar, Greg Chappell. There's 4 superstars there.
Virat Kohli these days.
Great timer. Michael Clark at his best. Ricky Ponting.
Oh, yeah. Ricky Ponting.
Beautiful timer. Yep. You probably wouldn't say Matthew Hayden was a timer, was he? He was more of a...
Such a strong player.
Yeah.
Right? Used to really just bash the ball. There are obviously all these great players are good timers. Some just look a little more finesse them more than others.
In his first Shield game, I think it might have been Paul Rifle said, "Gee, this kid can time a ball, and he knew how to place it as well." He made 1,000 runs in his first 2 Shield seasons.
Hayden?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then went to England and didn't quite get the runs in the one days, and Michael Slater came over the top of him after one season. He could time a ball too.
Yep.
Damon Bra, the only other player to get the double figures in the inconsistent innings that the Sydney Kangaroos produced. Had its moments. Syed was terrific. Didn't get enough support. 9 for 115 they made. It's down the leg side, and it's worked away just for a single by Nadeem, who's anchoring this innings at the moment. It might need to.
Can I just get an early call on WinViz, please? The Lonergan WinVisometer
75-25 Tigers.
to the Indians, yep.
Yes. I think once they get going, they can put an end to it pretty quickly. Again, they're just making field placings after every ball, altering the field. They've had one come in, then go out, deep backward square, and they've had a mid-wicket come in, and then go out and then come in again. He's only bowled one ball so far, Bra. Round the wicket. Cut away, but only as far as a squarish, shortish third man, and no run by Ranbir Singh, who's come to the wicket. Lots of bottom hand as he drives to point and scores. He batted pretty well the other day. He also fielded magnificently in both innings so far. And this is driven now into the covers. And they're able to milk the strike, which is important for them at the moment. So nearly halfway there. The current run rate 8.10. The run rate required is 4.65. Ranbir Singh on strike on 1. Ayman Nadeem is 19 off 18, the skipper. Bra round the wicket again. Gives it air. And a miss, and not taken cleanly by Carnival, but he's still done some outstanding things as a wicket keeper today. That great catch down the leg side. He suffered a bit of a blow to the hand, but he's kept on keeping on.
Tough keepers.
Very tough. Tough as nails.
Got to be.
Sitting next to a great one here. 3 for 54. That is a lovely late cut. That's as good a cricket shot as we're likely to see. We saw a cut shot in the previous over. I'll say that's even better. Just gave him a little bit of width. And he found a gap. It wasn't a pronounced gap at point and Whitish third man, but a boundary. Beautiful shot.
And on the replay, yeah, just gave himself a little bit of room, stepped back, followed through, found the gap, very importantly. A lot of those go to fielders, go to hand, and that didn't. Hitting the gap so important.
They're Bon Jovi, 3 for 58 after 7. I'll let you work on that.
Yeah, that's got me.
Halfway there, Living on a Prayer, one of the greatest songs of all time.
Sorry, yep, you had to explain it, and that's, yep, I get it. Living on a Prayer, halfway there.
For our listeners around the world, or our audience around the world, American rock band, if you're unsure who Bon Jovi is, one of the best. So, another fast bowler with a run-up that might need shortening in the future. 3 for 58 as we start the 8th over. Target 116. Nadeem 19, Singh 5. This is flicked away magnificently off the thigh pad over deep backward square. Great shot.
Gee, left for some reason. I'm not a left-hander, so I can't be really clear on why. They just love it in this spot, left-handers. He's flicked that beautifully. A wristy flick, leg side, anything sort of approaching that top of the front pad or hip, they just flick it around, and that was a lovely shot. I enjoyed that. Welcome
to the bowling crease. Aussie Tawakul, and he was put away for 6. Driven down the ground now. Protection at long on. Slightly over pitched. Changed his angle with that second delivery. And it's 3 for 65 in the 8th over.
Nadeem. That was a good shot. 51 off 76, as you say. 6-1. Tuckerwell, Osman Tuckerwell. Now none for 7 off 2 balls.
He's going to change his angle again, I think, is he? No, he's not. No, he's standing on the wrong side. Nadeem, Ranbir Singh, the other left-hander, was very busy, as I mentioned the other day, looked good. And he's fielding short cover or short mid-wicket has been a feature for the Tigers so far. He opens the blade and works it nicely down towards third man. They just keep it ticking over. So 50 required now in the 8th over. 3 for 66. 26 off 20 and 6 off 5 for the 2 batters at the crease at the moment. Nadeem, the man on 26. Slip being dispensed with. Wasn't really working. And this time he steers the next ball. He sort of checked his shot a bit, I thought, as it was a well-up delivery. Doesn't score.
Yeah, I think you're right. He just checked his shot. Isn't quite where he wanted it.
Taylor call. And again, that's good bowling because he sort of took the pace off it a bit, saw that shifting his crease a little bit, and in the end he just got the toe end of the bat and forced it back on the bounce. So the dot balls are important here for the Kangaroos.
Now you mentioned the run up a few times. I really do think he could be as effective with only half that run up.
Yeah.
Maybe 3/4 at the most. He's gathered himself. It's a nice action. Lovely action straight down the ground.
What a shot. Got underneath it and just slammed it over Longoff's head. It'll go into the houses that are behind that end of the ground, the northern end of the ground. Beautiful cricket shot that from Nadeem, who's moved to 32, and it's 3 for 72 after 8 overs.
It had everything that he was looking for. It had length and width, over pitched and wide, and that gives you a chance to free your arms, swing through, and that was a nice 6. 32 off 23 now, Ayman Nadeem. 44 runs required of 72. Win Viz?
95-5.
95-5. Yes, I think it would be catastrophic collapse to actually lose from here for the Indian side.
Maybe I'm being a little bit unfair on the Kangaroos.
Not funny game, cricket, yeah. You had a couple of roll-ons. The only way the Kangaroos can possibly win is if they do bowl them out, I would have thought.
They'll need a few wickets quickly now. If he can't, it was okay. 1 for 8 from 2 overs, kicked things off. I think they've probably introduced him into the attack again because this is their last throw of the dice. As you said, Grant, they've got to bowl them out and bowl them out quickly to have any chance. Kept low, poking outside the off stump, not moving his feet. Ranbir, no run. But you just think, well, Nadeem, the skipper's there. All's good in the world for the Indian Tigers, Grant, I would have thought. And then for their second game today, brutal conditions for them, the Afghanistan Eagles. Looking to stay in the hunt for a semi-final berth. Playing Melbourne, they've lost both games, beaten outside the off stump. You watch any of the semi tonight between South Africa and New Zealand? Should be a good game, I think. Might be the best game of the tournament. 2 pretty even sides in the Champions Trophy. Square driven again. Protection out at deep cover.
Yeah, so the South African side, just on your question there, I thought cricket in South Africa was really in the doldrums, but it's sort of bounced back a little bit, and the fact that they're in the World Test final is I think, good for the game.
I think they're lucky to be there, but you're right. I mean, their bowling's very good. Got some great bowlers. Their batting is still a work in progress, but Bavuma has surprised me. He's a much better player since he's been captain.
Okay.
And their batting is improving, but I mean, Rabada's going to go down as one of the all-time greats.
Yep.
And Marco Jansen will too if he stays fit. It's early in his career though, so there's a caveat on that. There's another young left armour as well. That's a nice cricket shot, isn't it?
Yep.
Opening the blade, forcing a lot of work around to deep point from the fielder at fine leg, and they come back for two.
Seems to have plenty of time here, Eamon Nadine. He happy to wait on his shot, which means that if he's got time to wait on it, he's seeing it well. He's seeing it well in advance.
So we're in the ninth over, 3 for 75, 41 needed in 68 balls. They weren't able to defend 128 the other night against Pakistan, who did that 1 wicket down. And again, did not move his feet to one that was wide. And it moved away, and it's been called a wide. Even though he had a slash outside the off stump, Nadeem. Did move away late, so another extra on the board. 40 required now. Just need to keep their spirit up, the Tigers, while the game is still alive. It's easier said than done. That's a lovely shot, whipping it off his toes to mid-wicket. Aimed on leg stump.
Have you got any intel on the Dean? Dan, he seems to me like he's a player that has a future, a really nice future, just in terms of how he waits on the ball. He seems to have all the shots. How is he progressing in his cricket career? Well,
they've got quite a few that play in the under-19 competition in the Premier Cricket, and he's another one.
Yep.
Getting a lot of runs, late cuts down towards third man, and they get another one there. I like what Ranbir Singh is bringing to the table as well.
Who's he, do you know who he plays for, Dan?
I haven't been able to find that information out.
Okay.
Grant?
Yeah, that's okay. Sorry.
No, you're right.
Question without notice.
No, absolutely not. That's fine. There's information on some players, but not all the players.
Yep.
He's a good player, though, isn't he? He just seems well organised.
Yes.
That's. If you see a young batter well organised, you look at them and think, gee, they have a future. It's a tough game, of course, cricket, isn't it? I mean, to progress through the levels and through the squads. There's only 11 in a team, and that's why in Melbourne there might be dual sports stars as juniors, good footballers, good cricketers. They can do both until a certain age, and then they might choose the footy because they can make more money more quickly, but there's also an opportunity with more players in the team. That's the battle that cricket's had, and other sports like basketball. They had a win with Will Sutherland, who was a very good footballer as well. There's one over left before we get halfway, and that is hit down the ground and through the fingers of the fielder at long on, goes to the boundary for 4.
And that seemed to me, it just looked like cricket in slow motion. You watch how it just caresses the ball, so bowls, hits, comes across and drops it. So, yeah, just, anyway, We have 4 runs. Goes onto the score.
Leans into the next one. Plays it back to the bowler. Singh. So he gets a chance. He's 12 off 10. It's 3 for 82. 34 needed as we approach the halfway mark. Bra round the wicket. And he attempted to whack that out of the ground, and I don't know if he would have been home if Carnival had have taken it cleanly. He whipped the bails off. I think he whipped the bails off with his gloves. Grant.
Yeah, it was a misstumping.
Yeah.
That is for sure one of those really frustrating ones. You know a stumping's on, you snatch at the ball, you have the bails off before you have the ball in your hands.
Sure, there's so much going through your mind. I've got to take it, Guy's out of his ground.
Yep.
So missing some opportunities here. The Kangaroos, it's wide of the off stump, and he steps across and cuts it out to deep cover. Good use of the feet again by Ranbir, giving good support to Nadeem. We've said a few times throughout this tournament, Grant, that they're generally, once players have got used to the pitch, those that have made runs and got half centuries, they've generally had someone offer great support at the other end. It's happening here again today.
Yep.
Tossed up and couldn't get much bat on that one. Nadeem?
You're right, Dan. Cricket is also so much, look, that's a team sport. It's so much about the individual, isn't it? But when you can bat in partnerships and bowl in partnerships.
It's hit down the ground again. And is the catch taken? It is.
Taken.
Yeah, magnificent catch. Catching practice. Long off was there. He let it get very, very low on him, but he took a very good catch. And disappointing ending for Nadeem, out for 35 off 26. And Bra gets a wicket. It's 4 for 83 as we come to the end of the 10th over. Nice innings by Nadeem. Still a little bit of work to do. They need 33 to win, but they've only got 10 overs. Well, they've got 10 overs left to make those runs, so they should get them, I would have thought. Grant?
Oh, well, yes, they really should get them. It'll be a big collapse if they don't. They're halfway and still they just need 33. Well batted, Nadini. Batted well. Almost it was like catching practice, that shot, but wasn't it, Dan? Almost like he picked out deep it off and said, here you go, have a catch.
He's a good player, this boy, Eamon Nadeem. He was chosen in the Victorian Metro Under-19 squad that played in the Nationals in Adelaide, and he's from the Footscray Edgewater Cricket Club.
Footscray, righto.
Home of Merv Hughes, Ray Bright, Alan Hurst. They all played together one season, and surprise, surprise, they won the premiership.
Yep.
Merv was only 18 at the time.
Yeah, but it'd been a big tearaway quick even then, wouldn't he?
Sure was.
So we've got Ibi Khan coming to the attack from the southern end.
Felix Howard, the new batter, Grant.
Felix Howard, righto, thank you. Tuck behind, down to fine leg for a run.
He is the wicket keeper.
He's the keeper. Off the mark, first ball. Well, Felix Howard, right? I think Felix Howard on strike now. Yes, the new batter. Just a push for a single there. Plenty of space on the onside. It'll be a 14 off 14. And you can see some of the players here are probably just feeling the effects of the temp today. We have a temperature, and then it feels like, you know, sometimes it's 32, but it actually feels like more because of the wind or humidity.
It's hot today.
Oh, bolt. No run.
He's been indefatigable. Ibby Khan, 1 for 16. Had to bring him back on because it looks like they've lost. Lochnan Tarkawal, who's ill.
Oh, we get a run. It'll be a bye. Plenty of pace in that delivery.
Gave it everything, didn't he?
And if he'd gotten back to that little, as you call the Roy Fredericks,
Yes.
that could have gone very close to 6. Good speed.
About the same height as Roy Fredericks too.
Yeah.
I can still see that shot. I was 6 years old. It was the weekend of the election that Gough Whitlam got belted by Malcolm Fraser 2 weeks after he lost the Prime Ministership. I'll never forget it.
There you go.
It's such a big political family, our family.
Yeah, we've got some signage on the
Here we
ground
do.
that we'll need to remove. I just think Ibby's feeling some
Oh, they're all feeling it.
pressure, some heat. 1 for 16. 2 more balls left in his spell. He's obviously bowled well just to give up 4 runs and over.
Normally they aim for you to get through your 20 overs in an hour and 15. They've got through nearly 11 in 69 minutes.
Yeah, it's slow.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a shout. He was giving him out there. They've been some bat. Left arm around the wicket, Ibby. What was that, umpire? Was that bat? Let's have a look. Here's the replay.
I'm sure there was a lot of bat in that. So 30 required.
Swung away and leg.
That's a nice shot.
Just behind square. Look for 2. Settle for 1, and that's the end of the Ibby Khan spell. 1 for 17, well bowled. 4 for 87. The run chase. Rambir Singh 14 and Felix Howard on 2. That's suburbia for you, isn't it? One thing you'd see if that was a Brisbane, my local town, is many more swimming pools. You'd see just about every second or third, maybe fourth house has a swimming pool.
And 20 or 30 years ago, you'd see a lot of tennis courts.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. Get that next game.
Afghanistan Eagles are playing the Melbourne Pirates,
That's
and the
it.
Afghanistan Eagles are batting. They won the toss, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, Harry's confirmed that.
And that was all by reading Harry's app. I'm learning. It's taken me a long time.
Flat backs that down to long on for a single.
Surprised that's not a no ball. That is a no ball. That was a above waist high.
Right, good call. You got it. All over it, Dan. Is that, you get a feeling that Harry's trying to get the games on and through?
Sort of, yes.
And show us how good the app is, of course.
Of course.
Bowled him. That's a middle stump. That was not out because it was a free hit, no ball. Gee, I tell you one thing, Dan. All the commentary I've done, there's not a lot happens around the free hit. See, I think the administrators were thinking, oh, this was going to be a real advantage. Well, it should be an advantage to the batting team. But not much happens with the free hit. So rarely do I see it go for a boundary. I'm not sure why.
They can take a bit of licence, but you're right. Sometimes they don't. That would have been a handy wicket. Rambier is a good player. Felix Howard also plays Premier Cricket.
It's short. Doesn't take full toll, Felix.
And he plays for Casey South Melbourne, the same team as Lenny Wilton, who's playing for the Lincoln Lions. Plays in the under-18s, Felix.
Drag down this time, and has he found the fielder? Nearly did. It was a good attempt by Ash down there, number 8. But it's gone for 4, just back of the square. Look at that drag down. Nearly resulted in a wicket. Then he throws it up wide. It's another sundry. I've noticed the sides that have been winning these games, the extras have been sort of 13, 14, 15, 16. When you start getting extras in the 20s,
becomes a concern, doesn't it?
it does. Yep.
Need more spinners in the Kangaroos team, so maybe nothing against the pace bowlers, but the spinners seem to be working pretty well for the other teams, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
It's, I think, a slow bowler-orientated game these days, T20.
20 runs needed in 49 deliveries. Afghanistan Eagles playing their second game of the day, going to bat first against the Melbourne Pirates. As they look to put pressure on the Kiwi Warriors, will play their third and final game tomorrow if Afghanistan win tonight. After they narrowly beat the Kiwi Warriors today, the second last ball, Kiwi Warriors will have to beat the Lincoln Lions tomorrow. And then you've got the last game of the tournament for two sides searching for a win in the Leopards and the Kangaroos.
Yeah, this game's sort of just going through the motions at the moment. I'm not sure how or where the Kangaroos can spark a wicket or two, which is what's needed. 2 then could bring 3. That would take to 7. Put a bit of pressure under the batters as they come through. The conditions are for batting. Look, it's ideal for batting right now. The wicket's playing really well. The conditions are hot for bowling.
What's the hottest day you've played in?
Geez, we used to get some hot days in Brisbane.
It'd be hot for the batter, wouldn't it, under that helmet?
Yeah. Square driving, that's for 4 too. Lovely shot. Went along the ground all the way for 4.
He'd like it too, Ranbir Singh. The pace coming onto it as well from Kashir.
Kashif, the bowler. 1 for 14 into his second over. Ranbir Singh, lovely shot. That's wide down leg. That'll be a re-bowl. And a warning for the one over the shoulder for the over.
Ranveer Singh plays some senior cricket with the Western Falcons out in the western suburbs. Doing a good job again.
Gone again. That'll be a no ball this time. And it is.
Yeah.
No free hit, no ball. 2 over the shoulder for the over. Ball after ball. And that was super short.
Not the worst bouncer of all time either. But of course, it was the second one, so that's why he was penalised. So 13 needed in 47 balls. 99-1 is the win viz.
Let's have a look at the free hit, Dan. What's this?
Gave himself room, got bowled.
Honestly, I've got a theory. I don't have many
Go on.
Pythagoras. I just don't think anyone's worked out how to play these free hits well. Anyone, any level. Hey,
Yeah, I agree with that. I
the
mean,
number. You just have a look at the number of boundaries that are hit off free hits these days. I'm yet to see one in this game. In fact, we've had the last 2 free hits have both been bowled.
we've had a couple of catches in the deep, a couple of drops in the deep from top edges.
Yeah.
It's obviously something the coaches have got to teach the players, don't they?
Yeah, I don't. I maybe the batters aren't pre-thinking what. Look, I think the bowlers do. This is going to be my free hit type stock delivery, but I don't think the batters are.
No, you're right. I mean, he's been bowled twice now, Ranveer, from free hits.
Like, wouldn't you even like to get at least one run off a free hit? It's going to your score.
I mean, you could do a whole training session, couldn't you, on it? And say, well, okay, if this is the scenario of the free hit, if they bowl a full toss, it must go out of the ground. A bouncer, it must go out of the ground. Or try to anyway.
Oh, I reckon he has had a really good look at that. Going to give it a leg buys.
Oh, let's have a look at that.
Got a replay on that one.
Unless it clipped the outside edge of the pad and was going down leg, but he did come across, I thought.
Yeah, he had a real. I thought. Yeah, he's just saying he's going down leg was that.
So 11 from 44.
Coming over the wicket to left-hander. And gets this one down leg. Another short pitch ball.
He likes the hook shot, doesn't he? Or likes to try and play the hook shot.
Yep. It's a single down to leg. Ten runs now for the win. And coming around the wicket to the right-hander.
So what do you think Luke, the groundsman, will do with... He'll just give it a quick roll?
Yep. Shot. Drop kick. Straight over mid-wicket. And that's a big 6.
Yes,
Beautifully hit.
In the hitting zone on leg stump. As a batter, you just got to learn to put that away, and he did.
And he did with style.
Oh!
It's a big hit. Oh, that's 6 points gone through the big stick.
It has, so maybe it's worth 12.
Oh, go.
6 for the goal, 6 for the shot.
Why not?
He's getting ready for footy season, Lindell. About a month away, a lot of the local leagues
Okay.
starting. The AFL meant to start tomorrow night, but won't now.
What comp's Lindale in?
They're in the Southern Football League. They're in 4th Division.
Okay.
So teams like
What's it down from AFL? VFL? AFL?
AFL, VFL, amateurs.
Amateurs.
which is a big comp. A lot of the private schools have got old school teams.
Okay.
And then you've got the Eastern Football League, which is a very good comp. Just Noble Park are in that competition.
Mm-hmm.
Just down the road here.
Amateurs and then what?
Oh, what was I say?
Sub-district.
Yeah, Eastern and all Northern Football League over where I grew up. Heidelberg over that way.
Okay.
Mornington Peninsula down that way towards the beach. Frankston teams. For our overseas audience, a bit of a geography lesson of Melbourne.
4 to win. And we'll make that 3 after that signal.
Attempted slow one, took the pace off it. Yeah, they've got to find some spinners.
Yep.
Nagiula. They've got a chance, if they've got enough in their squad, to maybe do that tomorrow, knowing that they can't make it now.
And this is the most convincing win so far, or will be.
Help their net run rate.
Didn't quite get it. They'll pick up another single. It's gone square. Misfield. They'll get 2 for the misfield, actually. So the scores are now level. 1 run to win. And even the Lonigan Winviz wouldn't have anything bar a 100 to 1, 100 to 0 chance.
Oh, it's even more than that, Grant.
Oh,
If it can be.
can be.
Greatest respect.
Shot. Down the ground. There's the win. Always good fun hitting the winning runs. Rambir Singh.
And Felix Howard.
And they'll shake hands and that'll be the end of the game. Good win by Indian Tigers.
And they got the big one tomorrow against Pakistan to decide. It's all worked out well, hasn't it? To decide who finishes on top in Pool A. Rambir Singh 23 off 25. Felix Howard 17 off 11. And
With 40 balls to spare, they're at least 40 to 50 short, weren't they?
oh yes,
They're on track to get that sort of 160, even 170, which would have been the highest score of the tournament, of the competition so far.
if they had a batter first, it would have been way too many for the Kangaroos. And look, they had a chance to probably get another 15, 20, and they mucked up the back end of their innings. Syed did everything right, but he couldn't get enough strike. They kept losing wickets. I mean, you and I were on the end of that, and they made bad errors, didn't they? Hitting the ball in the air, giving away their wickets instead of just knocking it around and putting him on strike. He's on.
Yeah,
An extra 20, but it just delays the inevitable, doesn't it, Grant?
well, we spoke about during the call, and that was about match awareness, and we got a bloke who's in form and should have been on strike for the majority of the last sections. When you come in, your job is to get the man in form on strike as often as you can, not throw away your wicket. So that's one of the learnings, one of the takeaways for the Kangaroos. I hope they can look at it that way. Indian Tigers win by 6 wickets. Have a look at the scorecards in a moment. But it was as you mentioned, a bit of a slow run rate. And a lot of that was due to the fact that we have got very hot conditions here today.
We hope Lachlan Tarkawal's okay too, because he was forced off being ill.
Here's your scorecard. So leading the way at the top of the order, Ayman Nadeem, 35 off 27. Panthea 8 off 10. And at the bottom, Rambir Singh, not out, 23 off 25. And Felix Howard, 17 off 11. 22 extras. That's one thing I have noted, that the teams winning are sort of bringing in that 15 or so extras.
And looking at the bowling, Ibi Khan was their best. 1 for 17 from 4 overs. 1 for 16 for Nadeem from just 1 over. Kashif 1 for 24. All pretty expensive. And you look at the dot balls, just 37. But then again, they only completed 81 legitimate deliveries. So they had an issue with the dot balls. Other teams have been a lot better with the dot balls so far. So some work for the Kangaroos to do before their final match of the tournament tomorrow. It's been a great experience, no doubt, for them. A lot of these boys from Sydney and New South Wales, and they batted okay in the first game. Had their moments in the second game with the bat, but the bowling is probably an issue they need to work on. But the Indian Tigers get Pakistan tomorrow, Grant, and it should be a nice build-up for the semi-finals on Friday.
Well, definitely. So we've had 2 games today on day 3 of ACL 2025 under-19s. Our next game, Dan?
Next game is going to be, well, Afghanistan Eagles playing their second game today, their final game of their pool tournament. They hope to be in the semis if they win and Kiwi Warriors get defeated tomorrow, and they beat the Kiwi Warriors off the second last ball today. They take on the Melbourne Pirates yet to win. They've had a bit of an issue with their batting, but their bowling's been okay. They've defended okay. They just need to make more runs. And they're about to play a match to complete day 3, and the Afghanistan Eagles won the toss, and they've elected to bat. Just the second team that's won the toss have elected to bat. So we'll see what happens. Interested to see what the pitch does for that final game. We'll be back with commentary very, very shortly.
Sydney Kangaroos took on the Indian Tigers. It's the Tigers who rode very well towards the end, comfortably chasing it down and earning the much needed 2 points. Hello, welcome to the post-match presentation. Before we move ahead, it's only fair that we thank our sponsors, TAG Real Estate Victoria, and thank you so much to Exclusive Immigration. To give away the trophy, we'll have Mr. Harry Sandhu, ACL's organizer, in just a bit. Let's speak to the captain who came second, Saim. Saim's not here, so we'll have Tristan. Tristan, firstly, the injury update.
It's getting better. I think it's all swelled up. It was all black on the field, but it's gone down now. Yeah, it's all gone. But yeah, it's getting better.
Good carry on the surface because surface today. Did you boys adjust?
Yeah, no, it was really nice. Like especially the through the carry was very nice throughout the game. And yeah, just at the end of the day, the Indian Tigers outplayed us.
Tristan, you got to pull up your socks as well. Not enough runs on the board. It was very evident.
Yeah, 100%. I think our game plan needs to be revised a bit. I think a lot of our players trying to hit the ball too hard, not looking for the rotating strike. I think look for singles and the boundaries will come. We're just thinking boundary every ball. But yeah.
Hard luck today, but all the best for the next one then.
Thank you.
That was Tristan. And now let's speak to the winning skipper, Nadeem Ahmed. Sensational with the way you
as well. Firstly, the
toss helped on this service.
Yeah, I think it definitely helped because I think if you look at the other results, most of the wins were chasing. So I think winning the toss up front was a big confidence and we backed up with the ball.
Excellent with the bat in hand as well. Easy run chase. Did you always believe that you wanted to get it done as quick as possible? Do a world of good to your net run rate?
No, I think the goal was just to risk-free batting because it wasn't the biggest total. So I think the runs just came with the way they bowled and we played with good intent. So I think it just came in our favour with the bat.
And tell us a bit about your spinners. They were the architects of strangulating the opponents at the right time.
Yeah, I think the best thing that our spinners do is they own the top of the stumps. So I think that when we do get hit, it's mostly down the ground, but our spinners are able to control the pace, control the lines, and able to build dot ball pressure in the ring, which that helps us for the run rate and the wickets in hand.
3 biggies with a bat in hand, the skipper, and then 2 crucial wickets as well. You want to talk about that too?
No, not really.
But I'll tell you what, don't go too far away because I request the presence of Mr. Hari Sandhu, the organizer of ACL, to give away the match trophy to the winning skipper, Ahmed Nadeem, who is also our player of the match. 35 of just 27 and then 2 wickets with the ball in hand. So much. That's all we got for you from the post-match presentation. We'll meet you very shortly
with the next game.